All right, guys, welcome back. We are playing Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 5, Meakashi.
ケイチ、
Last time, well, Shion and Rika had a little bit of they had a couple interactions, right, at school, and then Rika decided to try injecting her, and that didn't go too well. And now we ended off in the middle of a chapter, unfortunately, because like apparently this chapter is 5 hours long. Well, I don't know, maybe it ends in 5 minutes. Um, but now we Sadako. I'm very concerned about Shion's thoughts about Sadako and where that's gonna lead us exactly. Let me get my notes open. Make sure there is nothing else that we need to talk about. I don't really think so. I just have so many like God, the revelation about Shion and Mion and Shion having been Mion originally, right? Um, I don't know. It makes me like there are so many connections to things. It just makes everything like so much deeper, even with like the way she views Sadako and Satoshi, right? Because it's like from Shion's perspective, it's like she's been on both sides of it. You know, it really reinforces like her way of viewing like the world and like the Sonozaki stuff and all of that. It makes even more sense why she like blames Sadako in a way, because like from her perspective, yeah, she's Sadako, but she's also been Satoshi, right? Like she sees Satoshi and she sees what he is doing for Satoko and all of this, and she thinks about her own experience and how trying to be a good sister, like she said, for Mion, led her to this, right? To now she's not Mion anymore, she's Shion, and you know, all of that, right? So yeah, I mean, oh god, and all of it is just going to lead to her hating Sadako even more, right? Because like, oh god, because Sadako, like, because she doesn't only just see herself in Sadako, she also sees Mion in Sadako in terms of like the Mion from like that night when it's like she switched places with her, you know what I mean? Like she was, oh god, oh no, right? Like, man. Like, yeah, her extreme hatred towards Sadako. Not that I'm like justifying it. Obviously, like the way she treated Sadako, like at school and stuff, was like horrible, right? Awful. But it's just like it makes sense why she like. Obviously, she's a horribly mentally like broken person, right? Like it's not like a good reaction to those emotions, and it's not like her. It's not like it's literally fair for her to hate Sadako. I just say it makes sense, right? Yeah, and Satoshi, right? Like it's like she sees what happened to Satoshi, his disappearance, all of this, right? It's almost like this external affirmation. It's like the universe itself, like reinforcing this idea to her that it's like that's just how it goes. That's how it is, you know. Like her, God, like her. I don't know. It's just so sad. It's so sad. Oh man. Oh god, I feel like you could go back with like the knowledge that we have now of her and Mion's relationship and how they switch places like that and how Shion views that. Like, God, I want to play the first half of the chapter again now and like just look at all that stuff between Satoshi and Sadako and Shion and like see because I feel like it's so much deeper now. There's even so much more to it now, you know? But okay, well, let's continue. So what's I'm trying to think. So what happens in chapter 2 after this? So Rika's dead. Shion's gonna kill Sadako too. I mean, assumedly, right? I mean, that's what happened in chapter 2 again. I'm just assuming this is all gonna play out the same way chapter 2 played out, right? She's gonna kill Sadako. I hope that's I hope we don't see that, although we definitely are. Um, and then what happens? Keiichi has a few panic attacks, as always, I'm sure. He has like 5 or 6 of them, probably, in the 30 minutes. He talks to Shion. No. Yeah, Sadako and Riki go missing. How does Keiichi learn about that again? I don't even remember. But they go out and they look for Sadako and Rika at the house and stuff. There's the moment where Mion Shion's being creepy and she says, like, oh, Sadako's cursed, blah, 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 blah. Makes so much sense now that we know this is Shion, of course. I feel like I brought that up at some point, saying that, like, I don't even remember. Maybe, right? It was something because I kind of had the general vibe. I remember. I think it was like after chapter 3. I had like the general vibe, the idea that Shion did have this serious connection to Satoshi. So maybe her disliking Sadako would make sense. Obviously, I had no idea it was like this, right? I thought she just didn't like Sadako and she like blamed her in some weird like curse way for having Satoshi disappear. But no, now we know it's like this horrible personal thing, right? So yeah, all of that happens. Keiichi blames himself for everything, as always, blah, 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 all of that happens. Where does Mion go? Or I guess Shion, right? Where does Shion go after that? I don't even remember, right? Because they're at the house. They're at the Rika's and Sadako's house looking for them. Rena walks off for some reason. Keiichi and Shion have the weird, creepy moment. What does Shion, what does she do after that? I don't remember. I don't know. Did she just leave and go to sleep? It's, I guess, right? Or at least from chapter 2, that's how it seemed. And then the next day after this is when the end of chapter 2 happened, which is when Keiichi and Rena go to Mion's house. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I wonder how much I have left. I kind of wanted to try and finish this chapter today, but I don't know if that is possible. I really don't think that's possible. Like, not this subchapter. I mean, like, the whole game. Maybe. We'll see. Let's begin, shall we?
さっきから呼んでるぞ。電話だ。園崎さんから。
Right.
園崎
Is
さんって
this how
どっち
he...
姉
Hmm.
妹
Oh, yeah, I
そんな
remember
の
that. I
知ら
remember
ん。
that. Yeah, yeah.
自分で出て聞きなさい。
I remember him asking that.
もしもし。ミオンかシオンか
Because I remember in the moment, it's like, we didn't know if it was Mion or Shion, right? Yeah, 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 yeah.
私です。シオンです。こんばんは。
シオンその、ゆべはすまなかった。つい興奮して。
He must have been worried about how I hung up the phone so suddenly last night.
私たちは運命共同体なんです。互いの無事の確認が自分たちの安全の唯一の保証なんです。
ああ、それについては同感だ。
I can't decide how real Shion's like manipulation of Keiichi is, you know what I mean? Or if she is just thinking of it in that way. Obviously, yeah, she's just like lying to him. Like, kinda, right? But what's weird is like not really, in a sense. Like, she actually does... I don't know, she actually is feeling like crazy paranoia, and she actually does think there's the secret underside of the Sonozakis who are gonna slaughter her and all of this, right? So, like, I just wonder if she's truly actually as much of a like, cold-hearted manipulator of Keiichi as it's like she wants to tell herself she is right now, you know? I don't know.
だから私たちは互いの知っている情報を共有する必要があります。高野さんたちみたいな死に方をしないために。
Yeah. Gulp. I heard Keiichi swallow
では、
loudly.
昨日の続きを話します。
God, Keiichi really can't catch a break
もう
though, huh?
怒らないで聞いてくれますよね。
Like, I think I said this, but like chapter 1, it was Oishi telling him all his friends were evil murderers who were gonna kill him. In chapter 2, it was actually Shion being like this the whole time. Like, Jesus Christ.
大丈夫だ。
Keiichi agreed to be quiet and listen. I explained the dangerous situation Keiichi was in once again. Just like how some evil people in the village attacked Takano-san and Tomitake-san, they might attack us any day. It was ironic, of course, that while I was warning them, I was also the one who made sure the curse would fall upon it. Interesting.
互いに何か気になることがあったら報告し合いましょう。
Like, her saying things like that, it also just makes me think that, like, this is her attempt to take some kind of control over the situation, right? Like, she's telling herself that, like, yeah, of course Keiichi's gonna die, he's gonna get targeted by the curse, I'm making sure that's gonna happen, all of this, you know. It's like an attempt to control this whole curse situation that she still really doesn't know anything about, right? She wants to, right? She wishes she understood what was going on, you know. Yeah, that makes sense.
互いの持つ小さな断片を合わせていけば、ひょっとすると高野さんたちを殺した、いえ、過去の連続事件を解決する鍵が見つかるかもしれません。
Perhaps.
そうだな。確かに
Perhaps.
そうだ。
では、まずは言い出した私からいきます。最近、誰かに監視されているような気がします。
Oh God. I was making this up. What's crazy is I remember this line, her saying that I feel like somebody's been watching me lately. I remember using that as like justification for why I thought Shion was like losing her mind, right? Like, it's like I that was like a justification for like the paranoia, you know? Like, because coming into this from chapter 1, it's like obviously Keiichi's extreme paranoia in chapter 1 seems like such an indicator for, like, him having lost his mind and all of this. So then in chapter 2, Shion started hearing things, and she said, like, oh, I feel like someone's been watching me. I thought that was, like, just a little hint, you know, to tell you that, yeah, Shion's losing her mind, just like Keiichi was in chapter 1. But no, she was making this up. This just isn't even, it just doesn't even matter, right? Like, I guess I guess the way I took it, like, kind of makes sense, right? Like, it was, like, genuine justification to believe that, and it was true. It's just, like, it wasn't actually, like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't real. But, God, that's funny. I just wanted him to realize how urgent the situation was. What's crazy, though, too, is she isn't actually making it up. There's been someone following her for the past, like, month, right? Like, Jesus Christ.
と言っても気のせいかもしれません。でも一応報告します。今は気のせいだと思っていますけど、もしもケイちゃんも同じように誰かに監視されているように感じるなら、
I guess that's like the real thing for me, is realizing how... It's both realizing how insane and how much Shion lost her mind in this chapter. How like, real and how horrible it was. And also, how sane she still was, right? Like, it's so different from Keiichi in Chapter 1. Like, killing Rena and Mion, right? Where he truly, literally went insane, right? Like, it's just Keiichi in Chapter 1. It seems like he literally just lost his mind completely. Shion, like, yeah, she has, right? Like, obviously, she's doing insane, bizarre, crazy things, but she's also so calculating and so different. It's just because she's such a different person than Keiichi is, you know? Like, Keiichi is the kind of person who, well, like, you know, we know how he is. Like, the way he reacted with, like, when Shion met him, right? Like, when he started muttering and stuttering and all of that, you know, that's just how Keiichi is. So I guess it makes sense, right? And Shion's not like that.
これは気のせいじゃないのかもしれませんから。
そういうことなら安心しろ。少なくとも、俺の方は大丈夫だ。
It seemed like nothing had happened to Keiichi today, at least. Now that the heads of all the three families were gone, it was possible the curse system had been destroyed entirely. If that was the case, then Keiichi might not get attacked after all. Interesting. But if there was someone who did want to attack him, that meant part of the system was still alive. That's an interesting... Yeah, right, the curse system could just be gone. In other words, my mission wouldn't be accomplished yet. Yeah. I mean, she thought that last time, when Rika died. Right. Okay. Keiichi is like a litmus test in this situation. I'd know whether or not all my enemies were gone, depending on if Keiichi got bitten. He sure is a very useful man. Yeah. After that, I went along with what Keiichi said. I made sure he was fearful of Mion, as well as all of the three families. I explained to him the possibility that the whole village was involved, and that the curse of Eishiro-sama might be some sort of system. Then I remembered Shion wouldn't know too much about the disappearance of the mayor, so I continued.
私もついさっき聞いたんですが、君吉のおじいちゃんが行方不明に
God,
なったって。
this is just fake too? She just made... That's crazy. That's crazy. Right? Man.
なんだ、シオン。聞いてないのか?
Because she just makes up the whole emotional reaction she has here? Yeah, I guess she does. I guess. God.
あ、実はな、昨べ会合の後、家に帰ってこないとかで、木並沢中で大騒ぎになったんだ。
Oh, so what is she gonna think? Because Keiichi's gonna tell her about him having told Rika everything. She already knows Rika is dead.
村中で探したみたいだけど、まだ見つかったって話は聞かないな。警察も探してるはずなんだけど。なんでそんな
大事な話を先にしてくれなかったんですか？
悪い。もう知ってると思ってたんだよ。隠す気なんかなかった。
ケイちゃん、私、
God.
どうしよう。
どうした？
I want her thoughts right now so bad.
俺たちの間で隠し事はなしだろ。
ごめん。隠すつもりはなかったんです。ちょっと言うのが前後したっていうか。
俺たちは仲間だろ。怒ったりしないから。
Not really, unfortunately. I kinda. In Shion's mind, it's both of you against the curse, yeah, but like, you know.
君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。
君吉のじいさんってのは、シオンにとって相談できる心安い人なんだろう。
はい、私のこと小さい頃から本当に可愛がってくれて、私いつも意地悪なことをしてたのに、いつもニコニコと笑って、私の言うことは何でも聞いてくれて。
I wonder if that was before or after
本当に優しい人だったのに。
落ち着けよ、シオン。
Again, I'm assuming she's not just making all of this up for Keiichi, right? But like, I guess, I don't know, it's so hard for me to believe that she can really fake everything entirely, you know? I don't know.
そんな簡単に諦めるなよ。
Keiichi tried to make me feel better. but he had no idea what was actually going on. It really made me
村長
laugh.
さんに
God, like, Jesus Christ.
私最後殿に忍び込んだこと、誰かにそれを見られてて、私たちを狙っている人がいるって。
村長さんは高野さんたちがまともじゃない死に方をしたのを知ってるのか？
He sure did.
知っていました。あの二人がお社様のたたりで死んだから、私はその怒りを鎮める生贄にされるんじゃないかって、本当に率直に言いました。
ああ、それで
君吉のおじいちゃん怒らなかった。そしてにっこり笑って、しおんちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら、
And like, this is
鬼
the...
隠しになんかなるものかって。
This is what I mean, because this is like kind of real, right? Like, she actually was... The fact that Kimiyoshi actually did care about Shion in some way actually is, like, meaningful to her, right? Of course, it's his attitude about Satoshi that drove her off the deep end, right? But, like, that's what I mean in terms of, like, this... It's not just, like, fake, you know?
本当に笑いながら任せなさいって。
I actually got a little sad while saying that. Thank you, Shion. Uncle Kimiyoshi had been so reliable. I was so happy when he said that he would protect Shion. Right, because it's like I was truly happy. If only he hadn't said anything to insult Satoshi-kun. Because it's like a sign that things could have been different, right? That it's like there were people who would have wanted to protect her. I don't know. I just... Yeah.
私のせいです。私が打ち明けてしまったから。
よせよシオン。シオンのせいじゃないよ。
いいえ、私のせいなんです。私が打ち明けてしまったから。君吉のおじいちゃんが知ってしまったから。だから殺されてしまったに違いないんです。だって打ち明けてすぐなんですよ。
God, like I would have...
打ち明けて大丈夫って言ってくれたその晩に消えてしまった。
I want to read into all of this so much, right? Like, I want to say that all of this definitely says something actually about how Shion actually feels about her actions and everything she's been doing. But I know about to get another line where she thinks, like, oh, I was making all of this up, haha, Keiichi's so stupid, right? So it's like... But no, but like, you know, she actually did care about Kimiyoshi, and Kimiyoshi actually did care about her, and that was meaningful to her and all of this, right? So... but I don't know. But she doesn't actually think it's all her fault, right? You know what I mean? Like, she in her mind, she still justifies all of this as, like, you know, oh, they were gonna kill her, right? Like, she had to do this, right? Maybe not entirely, though, right? Like, I don't know, because again, it just makes me think about how she blames Sadako for everything. That she blames Sadako for everything about, like, her abuse and everything that happened to Satoshi. So I just can't help but feel like it would make sense for, in the end, Shion to blame herself for everything that happened here, and think that it was, like, not in, like, a good way, not in terms of, like, oh, I probably shouldn't have killed everyone, but in the sense of, like, it, like, wasn't my place, right? That it's like, oh, she's Shion, and, you know, in some way that idea will be reinforced to her. The same way she never blames, you know, the abusers for Sadako and Sachie's situation. It's like she would blame herself, in a sense, for everything that's happened here. Not through her own actions, but just because, again, she's Shion, and that's not her place to have done anything about it, you know? It was such a strange feeling. I wasn't upset at all. But as I pretended to be upset and muttered words of prayer for Kimiyoshi's safety, I started to feel that emotion growing inside me. Yeah, I was only pretending to be distressed to fool Keiichi, I'm sure. Yet the emotion I feigned began welling up inside me. It felt like I was being consumed by that emotion. So the words coming from my mouth weren't words I intentionally said. They were words that consumed emotion forced me to say. Yeah, consuming emotion. It was like someone else inside of me was doing the talking instead. And I was just watching that someone talk from a short distance away. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you, like, act like this, right? Like, she's been trying to repress everything and try to be, you know, like the way she's been acting this whole time. So yeah, I think that makes sense, right? That it's like, yeah, she's been trying to hold down all of this emotion, all of these things, right? Yeah.
これは全部私たち4人のトガだったはず。他人に話してはいけないことだったんです。話したから殺されてしまった。知ったから殺されてしまった。 ち明けたから殺されてしまった。
おい待てよ。
And in a sense, he kind of did. Right? In a sense, he kind of did, right? Like, she did kind of kill him. I guess, like, I don't know, saying she killed him because she confessed to him, that's kind of like a broad, you know, but like, I don't know, it is interesting, like, I just kind of connected to the idea of, he only got killed because Shion is... Because Shion's what? Like, not knowing her place? You know what I mean? I just can't help but feel like this will all go back to the idea of her blaming herself for having tried to do anything other than just lay down and die, you know? Which again, like, I'm not justifying her actions. I'm not saying that she should have started killing everyone and that what she's doing is, like, normal and makes any sense, right? Like, from her perspective, it kind of does. From her crazy, insane perspective, yes. She's wrong, and she's losing her mind, so that's rough. So it's like, in a sense, her actions could be justified if they were, like, real. At the very least, it's like, if she actually knew that Mion and Oryu were actually planning on killing her, then, like, what she did, stunning them with the stun gun, like, you can kind of justify it. Everything that follows, locking them in the torture dungeon, not really, right? So it's weird, because it's like, I want to say Shion, like, yeah, everything she's done is crazy, right? But at the same time, it's like, it's such a step for her, in terms of her fighting against the system that has ruined her life and has made everything horrible for so long for her, right? So I don't want her to reach the conclusion. I don't want her to reach this conclusion. He got killed because I confessed to him. If what she really means by that is he got killed because, you know, because I'm doing all of this, because I didn't lay down and know my place and let the Sonozakis kill me. I don't want her to reach that conclusion, because that's, like, bad. That's, you know, that's her... You know, it feels silly to be talking about it, because, like, we're so far deep. Shion's a serial killer now, right? Like, we're, like, you know, like, obviously it's, like, her own personal, emotional, like, thoughts on her place in the Sonozaki family are kind of beside the point when she starts killing everyone. But, like, from my perspective, in terms of, like, a character writing perspective, no, it's still meaningful to me, right? So, I don't know.
そんなやつなら打ち明けた村長を殺す前にお前から先に殺すに決まってるじゃないか。順番が違うよ。殺されるなら俺かシオンが先に。
Not what happened with Satoshi.
他のやつらが先に死んだりす
Or
る
at
の
least from
か。
Shion's perspective, right? Satoshi was killed, yeah.
私たちを一番最後に殺すつもりに違いないんです。
なんだって。
人思いに殺さないで親しい人たちから順々に殺していって、散々悲しい思いをさせた後に殺す、そういう狙いに違いないんです。
What I just said scared even me. Yeah. Killing our loved ones first to harm us emotionally, and only then kill us at the height of our suffering. Whoa. I felt something crawling up my spine. That's awesome. It's an awesome idea. I must not be human anymore. I really am a demon. What's crazy about that too is it's like, I feel like with Shion, if she reaches some level of, like, lucidity again, where she isn't as crazy as she is right now, it's like she could feel like that's what's happening right now, right? Like, in terms of, everyone she cares about does die over the course of this chapter, right? Kimiyoshi dies, Mion dies, Satoshi dies, everyone dies, right? And then Shion's the last one left, right? So this kind of does happen to her. I guess the demon does it to her, right? She kind of does it to herself. Yeah, I don't know. A human could never think of such cruel things. That would be one incredible hell. Your close friends dying one at a time after being tortured. And after all that, you yourself get killed. And she does that to Mion, I guess, right? What a great way to destroy someone's life. Yay! Let's go! Why was I getting so excited about this? Because I could get going with that plan right away. Awesome! Fantastic. Thank you, Shion. Thank you. Amazing. God, she thinks of it right then and there. Great, good.
え、今なんて言ったんですか？
俺も実は打ち明けたんだ。
Is this why... Wait. No, let's just keep going. What did she think about the fact that Kate just told Rika everything?
リカちゃんってリカちゃまのことですか？フルデ神社のリカちゃま？
そうだよ、リカちゃんだよ。俺もどうしようもなく不安で打ち明けたんだ、リカちゃんに。そうしたらリカちゃまはなんて？猫さんの 心配しすぎなので
Right, right.
僕がきっと何とかしてあげま
And
す
hey, I mean, she did. She did try to do something about it.
ごめんシオン
Right. So that is, yeah, no, that makes sense, right? I remember always wondering, like, what Rika-chan was actually gonna do, right? Like, I remember thinking, like, in Chapter 2 that it was weird how she said that, then she just died instantly. But no, Rika actually did go off and try to do something about it, right? Yeah.
俺ちょっと
I mean, I know, I
心配に
guess
なっちゃって
I should have already known that, right? Because, like, yeah, she had the syringe in her pocket in Chapter 2.
はい、そんなに心配でしたらぜひ電話を、安否を確認してみてください。
ああそうさせてもらう。
また明日もこのくらいの時間に連絡します。それをもって私の安否確認としてください。
わかった。待ってる。じゃあな。すまん。切るぞ。
Okay. Keiichi hung up roughly. And then the call tomorrow is the one where Keiichi calls her out, right? It's after Oishi is there outside Keiichi's house, and he says, like, oh, Shion's been missing, so then Keiichi thinks it's been Mion on the phone the whole time. Right, okay. Great. Good. What a hilarious conversation with Keiichi. Very, very funny. Everything was just too damn funny. Keiichi Maibara, go ahead and struggle helplessly. Right. Run all over the village and see if the curse is still alive. Go ahead and see if my enemies are still around. I laughed for a while and then calmed down. God, I don't know. She has such a negative view of Keiichi, and I just can't decide what I think about it. Obviously, her rejection of him and her negative treatment of him in terms of their relationship and, like, her relationship with Satoshi makes sense, right? Like, it's this... that she's rejecting him and thinking of him as negatively as possible, because in some ways she thinks of it as, like, cheating on Satoshi, right? She wants to keep Satoshi, like, alive in her heart. She doesn't want Keiichi to, like, replace that, right? Makes sense. I just can't help but feel like it has to more, like, interpersonally relate to, like, something about her and, like, the way she feels about, like, all the stuff with the Sonozakis and stuff. Because she has such a horrible, negative view of him. Like, God... But I don't know. It's like, I can't think of any way to connect it at all to, anything about, like, Shion, Mion, Sadako, Satoshi, like, other than Shion and Satoshi's relationship, you know? So maybe it's just that. I mean, maybe it's just that, right? It's just, like, how would he slot into that, you know? How would Keiichi slot into, like, the whole, like, I don't know, just this whole, like, structure of things between, like, Mion and Shion and the Sonozakis and, like, Satoshi and Sadako, all of that, you know, the way Shion views all of that. Maybe he just doesn't, right? Maybe he just doesn't. I don't know. I'd already got rid of the bicycles and shoes belonging to Rika and Sadako. My house was, for the moment, taken care of. I could expect Keiichi to run around in a panic. Oh, yeah, thank God. Sadako's already gone. Okay. I don't have to see her, like... doing horrible things to Sadako. I feel like we have to, though, right? Like, I feel like that would be very... I mean, I don't want to, right? But I don't know, right? I expect Keiichi to run around in a panic, to ask for help from someone, and then ultimately come to me. And I guess that makes sense, right? Of course, because, like, Sadako called and was coming over, and then, yeah, she's calling Keiichi now, so of course it has to be after, right? More than likely, the youth group would end up looking for Rika like they did with the mayor. I'd probably have to endure another long night again, knowing nobody would find her. I decided to wait until the phone rang. I killed time by watching TV until it did. God. Here we are. Okay.
本気で言ってんの？もし冗談だったらかなり怒るよ。
I scolded Keiichi for suspecting that Rika had disappeared.
みーちゃん、本当に冗談だったなら。
And Keiichi, I can't remember. Is Keiichi, like, weird about Mion right now? Does he think Mion has anything to do with it? I don't remember. I don't remember what Keiichi's thoughts are. Obviously, it doesn't matter, right? Because Keiichi thinks it's all his fault, right? Like, we know how he thinks about, like, Mion, even if she had killed everyone, right? Like, he blames himself for all of it, no matter what. So, yeah.
だって冗談なんだから。私たちは。それが冗談であることを確かめなくちゃいけない。そうだね。機嫌の悪そうなことを言ってごめん。
Rena rebuked me. While she looked quiet, I felt that she could be very terrifying under her skin. I had no basis for that impression, but I still felt that way. You kinda do, hello, when she talked to you last year. I just didn't like her. I disliked her ever since that rainy day at the bus stop. Right. It wasn't that we didn't get along, though. How should I put it? I was at a loss for how to explain. That was it. I found a good example. Ooh. When I was little, I always wanted to play tennis. I had my relatives take me to a tennis court, and they all praised my skill. I was doing nothing more than hitting a ball with a racket. But they told me I was talented, and that made me happy. When I went to school, I told my classmates I played tennis, and they told me that I was talented too. Then, one of my classmates, who was usually very quiet, said she also played tennis. Not only did she play, but she took lessons. I gotta fix my hair. Okay. Although I bragged about my serve, I was no match for her. I felt lonely and insulted that everyone was paying attention to her and not me. Interesting. Okay. She was usually very quiet, but suddenly, I realized that she knew more and had a lot more experience than me. Rona at the bus stop was just like that. I thought of myself as a demon now. I'd awakened a part of me that was half human and half demon. The part that lived in Higurashi village. Okay, what does she mean by any of this, right? That's like she spoke up. She spoke up and made herself known from Shion's perspective just to, like, overshadow her, I suppose, right? Because, of course, we know, like, I assume this is after the Shion Mion switch. I assume Shion is someone who really wanted attention, right? Of course she did, right? So then this random girl spoke up and just was someone much better than tennis at her and took away all of her attention. I guess that's interesting, right? How does Ren at the bus stop feel like that, though, you know? Because, like, Ren at the bus stop was very interesting, because she said all those things thinking it was Mion, not knowing it was Shion, but stuff that was still very, very relevant to, like, Shion's emotions towards Satoshi. I mean, also just all the stuff about the curse, right? Huh. In fact, I'd already stepped into a world where normal humans couldn't go. I'd already surpassed my human limits. I genuinely thought of myself as a superior being, having transcended the realm of mortals. But, when my eyes met with Rona Ryugu's, I felt what I did long ago, with tennis. Why? Why did I feel that way with Rona? I've heard that in the animal world, during battle, animals glare at each other to display their strength. Only humans have to punch or kick each other to feel superiority or inferiority. Most animals can tell just by glaring at each other. In that case, could it be the same with Rena?
Mi-chan, 大丈夫?
Interesting.
Ah, ごめん.
I do feel like, of course, Rena is kind of the antithesis to, like, everything that Shion is doing and acting in a way, right? Like, Rena is just such, like, I don't know, she has such, like, a positive view of, I don't know, friends and everything, right? Like, it feels like she's always the one that we get, like, the really good scenes with, where she, like, you know, tells Keiichi to stop wanting to kill himself and stuff, right? So, like, she's certainly on the opposite spectrum of, like, I don't know, that kind of thing compared to Shion. She feels some amount of inferiority to Rena, and I think that probably makes sense, right? I mean, there's a lot of, like, tiny little things you could point out, too. Like Rena, like, seeming like she knows, like, what's going on with the curse and, like, Oshiro-sama and stuff, right? Like, from Shion's perspective. Even though we know she doesn't, right? Like, or at least I don't think she does. I think it's all... My interpretation has always been, even though it's, like, the God, there's too many things to talk about. My interpretation of Rena's thing about, like, the curse and all of this has always been that she wanted some kind of justification for her actions and whatever went down at, like, her old school before she transferred here, right? And that's why she was so big on the curse, so big on the idea of the curse controlling you and making you do these awful, evil things and all of this and blah, 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 right? Because she wants to tell herself that, right? And so I've always kind of discounted her thoughts on that kind of thing, right? I've not really discounted it, but I've always viewed it through that lens, right? So it's like when she was telling Shion all this stuff about Satoshi having the person behind him and how the curse is coming for him and blah, 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 blah. I thought it was in that same vein, but it's just like, now that we know that the thing behind them seems so real, seems so real, right? Does Rena know something, right? Does she? Like, is it, like, it's real, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I can't just say that the thing following them for, like, Shion and Keiichi and all of them is entirely just representative of some part of their mind. Because it's so real now. It seems so real, right? It's so much beyond the realm of just being, like, a metaphorical representation of of something about the characters themselves, right? So now it's like I feel like I just have to go back and think about the way Rena has always thought about the curse, and like think about it more. So I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to say is I wonder if Rena's attitude towards that is part of what Shion like has this feeling about, right? Like Rena having this like knowledge about it, you know, and all of this, or like I don't know. There's like a lot of little things, even just like Rena's like connection to Satoshi in that way, right? Just a lot of like little things that like you can imagine making Shion feel that way about Rena, you know. Rena feeling like it's like she can like see through her, you know, like Rena had this insight, it felt like, into Mion and Shion before even knowing that Shion existed in chapter 2, you know. There's just, I don't know, it's interesting.
ほらさ、昨日から寝不足でごめん。
Keiichi climbed up a ladder and tried to peek into the window on the second floor where Rika and Sadako lived. It was my job to hold down the ladder. Rena cautioned me to hold on to it tightly.
みーちゃん、
Oh,
私
right,
念のため
right.
本宅の方も見てくるね。すぐ戻るから。
I also wonder, it's like, obviously what they're doing here, going out and looking for Rika and Sadako and, like, expressing this kind of genuine care for their friends, that kind of thing. It's something that Shion has, like, a negative reaction to, right? Like, it's like, she reacts negatively to people caring about other people, right? Like, that's just, you know, like, because of what happened between her and Mion, and the way she views, like, Satoshi and Sadako's relationship, all of that, right? Like, I understand this situation being, like, you know, it does something to her, you know what I mean? Like, because again, it's like she feels like people haven't done this for her, right?
ごめん。
You know, like her thoughts when they were searching for the mayor, compared to how she imagined they must have acted when they were searching for Satoshi, just having given up so easily, you know? Yeah.
よろしく。
Runner ran off after that. When I looked up, I saw Keiichi trying to open a window, but all of them were locked.
本宅ってなんだ
Keiichi asked me that from the top of the ladder.
フルデ家の本当の家だよ。両親が亡くなって以来、ずっと放置してあるそうだけど。
Yeah.
あ、そうか。リカちゃんのご両親って亡くなってるんだよな。
さとこも親はいないよ。お社様のたたりってことで、
Oh.
両親が崖から落っこちてね。お兄さんだったサトシ君も
Ooh.
いなくなっちゃって。
Yeah.
サトシって前に聞いた名前だな。
He'd heard the name before. I felt anger growing inside me. How did Keiichi hear about Satoshi? I don't even remember. I think it was just like some benign way in this chapter, right? Don't you know whose desk you're using every day? You act as if it belongs to you. Yeah, that she feels like Keiichi is like butting in or replacing Satoshi in this way, yeah. You drop food on it while eating lunch. You drool on it while taking a nap. Don't you know who it really belongs to? Why am I acting this way? I'm Mion. Satoshi-kun doesn't even exist anymore. Oh, God. He was demoned away. It's hardly Keiichi's fault that he didn't know. It really isn't his fault.
さとこはリカちゃんと一緒にこの小屋で暮らしてるんだよ。
Oh, because it's Sadako's fault from her perspective, right? Of
互い
course.
に身寄りのない一人ぼっち同士。助け合ってね。
本宅って言ったか。そっちで暮らした方が楽だろうに。
初めはそうしてたみたい。でも、
Hmm.
両親を思い出すから辛いって言って。
Is she just making that up? Like, how would Shion know? After everyone in Sadako's family died, she started living with Rika. It only made sense. Sadako and Rika were best friends. They didn't care about the Hojo family or the Furude family. They had been best friends since before the dam conflict. The reason why the curse never fell upon Sadako... Oh, since before the dam conflict. Did we know that they were such good friends since even before then? I don't remember if we knew that, because we never saw them interact in Himatsubushi, right? I don't know if we knew that. Interesting. It would make sense from, like, the Rika perspective that, like, with all the weird timeline stuff, that, yeah, of course she would just want to be friends with Sadako, like, right away, right? So, I wonder the first time how they actually met, though, if they were friends for that long. The reason why the curse never fell upon Sadako. Also, I just think, like, it's interesting, like, what does she think about this? About Sadako going to live with Rika, right? Like, does she think of it as just another person that Sadako's going to for, like, assistance instead of being, like, mature and independent like she herself wants to be, you know? Rika Furude probably had a lot to do with it. Oh. That made more sense than anything else, at least. Sadako was pardoned from the curse of the Hojo family. All thanks to Rika Furude's arrangements. Oh, God. Sadako had never been a victim on the night of Watanagashi. According to the curse system I'd uncovered, the last survivor of the Hojo family still living in Hinamizawa would be the perfect target for this year's curse. The curse system she uncovered. Yeah. Therefore, whoever was responsible for executing the curse must have tried to take her life. However, nothing happened to her, proving that Sadako had escaped from the curse. That was really and truly infuriating. She might have been the head of the Furude family, but I still couldn't accept that such a little girl had enough power to protect her best friend. Mion, no, actually Shion. Shion must have had that same power then. Oh. And she didn't protect Satoshi. Just like Rika protected Sadako, Shion could have protected Satoshi. Damn it.
Rika-chanもSatokoも大変なんだな。
Oh. Do they?
呪われてるんだよ。
え？
Yeah.
お前今なんて言った？
呪われてるって言ったの。
ミオンお前なんて顔してんだよ。
Right, and we got like the crazy like red eye, like, you know, screen they used, right? Yeah.
お社様のたたりを一心に受けた呪われた子なの。
It's interesting that they use Noroi instead of like Tatari for this, right?
呪われてるって言ったの。
I guess I don't really know like the different. I know those are different words. I know they're both commonly translated as curse. They're just like different, right? Like
王女里子はね、お社様のたたりを一心に受けた
Well,
呪われた子なの。
Okay, well, I don't know. She says Tatari and Noroi there, so like I don't know. I think that's interesting because normally when they say curse very Shirosama, they always say Tatari, right? Curse. I don't know. I can't accept that Sadako was pardoned from the curse, although she was a member of the cursed Hojo family. She was one of the cursed Hojos. Sachi-kun wasn't pardoned, but Sadako was. She was cursed, but she got away. She escaped the curse, but Sachi-kun didn't. I can't accept that. In fact, Sadako should have been the one to be cursed the most. Interesting. Okay. I just can't help but think that just like this whole curse thing, it's just like it's like what she thinks like. I guess it's not how she thinks the world like should be, right? She doesn't. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is like despite all that she'd been doing this whole time to kill all the Sonozakis and kill everyone in the three families and try and like, you know, do all this stuff with the curse, right? She still thinks of the curse in this way, as in like, oh, you know, Sadako should have been killed by the curse. You know, the curse should have done this. The curse should have done this. You know, blah, 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 right? Because she still thinks of the curse as being representative of, like, you know, the way things should be, in a sense, if, like, you know what I mean, right? That Sadako, like, deserves it, right? Which, like, it's not as simple anymore to say to say what that says about how Shion thinks of herself. Maybe it is, though, right? Like, it's like, because she's kind of doing, like, the same thing, in a way, right? Like, like, Shion should have been the one who was cursed, you know? And she fought back against it, right? So, why is it okay for Shion to have done all of this stuff to avoid dying to the curse, but she thinks Sadako is the one who should have just accepted it and let the curse kill her, right? Is it just because of what happened to Satoshi? Is it just because she cares about Satoshi, so we blame Sadako for that? Probably, but, like, what does that mean, right? Like, why the double standard there, right? Like, is it not true that Shion has done the same thing, right? Like, it's like, I don't know. Like, obviously, again, it's not like I'm justifying it. I'm just saying, like, in her mind, I'm trying to uncover, like, how she's really, like, thinking about this. Like, what it says about how she views herself, you know? She cornered Sachi-kun physically and emotionally. Yeah. That was why things got weirder and weirder, and in the end, everything went crazy. When I think back on it, it was Sadako who I hated most of all. She cornered Sachi-kun. Oh. And as a result, Sachi-kun disappeared. Interesting, right? Because when she says things like this, she cornered Sachi-kun physically and emotionally, it's so hard to think about it. Because Shion has been Sadako and she's been Satoshi, right? Like, when she says this, when she thinks this, what she is thinking of is that night where she switched places with Mion, right? Like, she's thinking, oh, I am the one who allowed myself to be cornered emotionally by Mion. I switched places with her to try and be a nice, good sister, and look at how that turned out for me, right? And she blames Mion for that now, of course, right? She told herself for years that she didn't, of course, but it's like, you know, that resentment She couldn't have helped it, right? And that was shown through the way she thought about Sadako, right? Of course she viewed Sadako in that sense of doing the same thing to Satoshi, right? The same pain that she felt through having switched places with Mion and all the horrible stuff that came from that, right? The place that she was in now, right? From just trying to do something nice for her sister. Yeah, she views Sadako in that same light as being like Mion in that way, right? But it's also like her, right? Now she's been Satoko, like she's been Sadako in terms of like she has been the younger sister and Mion has been the older sister for the past, decade or whatever, however long it's been, right? And ever since she's been the younger sister, she views herself as the person who needs to accept that, needs to not corner Mion physically and emotionally, right? Needs to accept her place and be like the good little sister, like she was trying to be the good big sister before, right? So she didn't want to try and do the same thing that she felt like Mion had done to her, and that she sees Sadako doing to Satoshi, right? Again, it's like the whole problem with this is, of course, it's none of their Shion, Mion, Sadako, Satoshi. None of them are at fault. The faults are Teppei and they're the abusers of Sadako and Satoshi. And for Mion and Shion, their fault is all the people controlling the Senozaki family, Oryu and all of them who put them in that situation in the first place, right? And it's just interesting, and in a sense, that's what like the curse is, right? For in both situations, right? Because she thinks the Senozakis are controlling the curse, essentially, right? So, and yet she doesn't try and change it, right? It's not the curse that is the thing that should be changed. It's not the abuse that is the thing that should be changed. It's just, yeah, it's the system itself should be maintained, right? It's so interesting. I just wonder, is it just because, again, it's just like Shion has been her whole life, just that has felt like an impossibility, right? It's just like how the curse just feels like this nebulous, impossible thing to change, right? This inevitability. That's just how the Sonozakis feel as well, and that's just how she feels about like the abuse that Sadako and Satoshi faces too. I guess, right? I mean, especially as a child, that makes sense to feel, right? That like these when you're a child, it's like so many things just like happen to you, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? You aren't an adult, you aren't mature and independent like Shion wants to view herself as, right? There's so many things that you're just at the sway of that you can't control, right? Yeah. I wonder what this is, right? All of these, like, is it, to me, I guess it's almost like a representation of like the parts of her logic here that she is like ignoring, right? In terms of like the way it connects to her and her situation with Mion and the Sonozakis and all of this, right? It's almost like this gap in her thought process where it's clearly there that she recognizes in some way that that's why she feels like this about Sadako. But she is like, what? Purposefully omitting it, right? It's blocked from her mind. She can't let herself think like that. She started it. She caused it. Because it's just like Sadako. It's just like for Shion, how she has absolutely no sympathy for Sadako at all. The same way she has no sympathy for herself, right? It took what happened to Satoshi to happen in order for her eyes to be opened and to see the reality of all of this, right? For her to start fighting back in any way, and she still does it in Satoshi's name, not for herself in any way. At least that's how she says it, right? So of course she has no sympathy for Sadako at all, the same way she can't think of herself in that way, in that sense, Because again, I guess it's just that's how she was raised in a sense, right? It's almost like it's like if she ended up having this negative view of the idea of being a big sister, trying to be a good sister for Mion, and the negative consequence that came from that, it makes sense that then once she has related those two things in her mind, trying to be a good person, trying to be a good sister, a good sibling, leads to these horrible negative things happening, then yeah, of course it would lead her to thinking, okay, I'm the little sister now, I need to no one should give a fuck about me at all, because that just leads to bad things, and she views Sadako the same way. Okay, I think my thoughts on all of that are fully cemented. I want to try and not go on the Sadako Shion ramble again, because I feel like we've done it so many times, but okay. If only she hadn't been there. Just as Rika Furude and Sadako had lived happily, maybe there would have been a happy future for me too. Maybe Satoshi-kun and I could have started our lives together in Okonomiya. Yes, if I look at both the beginning and the end, it's so obvious. Sadako's existence caused everything, right? So it's like she's just gonna start thinking about that about herself, right? It's like if If the person who was on the lower rung just didn't exist at all, then the people who are in some way hampered by their existence, everything would be perfect and fine and great, right? Like, crazy, right? So, I mean, she's just gonna start thinking it's just like, oh yeah, it just says that she's thinking that about herself, that she just shouldn't have existed, that she never should have been born, that she should have, like... Because I guess that's kind of the thing. That's kind of what it goes back to with the twin thing with Mion and Shion too. It's like the fact that that there shouldn't have been twins in the first place, right? Or you wrapped her hands around not even Shion's neck, but Mion's neck, right? Because they switch places, right? So, but still, it's like there should have only been one of them, Yeah. Sachi-kun had to kill his aunt because of Sadako. The three families used that need to create the curse, and then they killed them. The police were convinced he just ran away, but he'd never do that. He was the type of person who always did his best at everything. All by himself. Yeah, independent. He was doing the very best he could for his only sister, yet he was forced to vanish. He worked so hard for Sadako, and though he was living just for her, he was erased. Poor Sachi-kun. He was so underappreciated. So underappreciated. That girl knew no gratitude. Unlike her, right? She feels like she... Yeah. In terms of, like, her... The way that she engaged with, like, her relationship with Mion after what happened. Yeah. If you got near her, you'd meet the same fate. You'd be cursed to die, or disappear. That really was it. She was the main cause behind it all. She wormed her way into Rika Furude's good graces, and that was why the curse fell upon Sachi-kun. She should have died first. Then Sachi-kun would still be alive. If he was alive, I could have done something for him. I can't forgive her. I can't forgive Sadako. I can't forgive that girl. There can be no peace with her. There can be no peace. She was the perfect target for the curse of 1983. The curse of Yoshiro-sama. Rika Furude, the reincarnation of Yoshiro-sama. Wait, let me read this one more time. Because that's just all, everything she ever thinks about Sadako entirely says something about the way she thinks of herself and, like, her relationship with everything, like... Yeah. Rika was dead. The reincarnation of Yoshiro-sama had died. There was no more god in Hinamizawa to deliver the curse. Oh, right. I'm the one who has to deliver it now. God, crazy. I am Mion Sonozaki, the head of the Sonozaki family, one of the three families of Onigashiki. Now that the heads of the three families are gone, there's nobody to surpass me. I would deliver the curse of Yoshiro-sama and nobody else. I'll deliver it. I am the curse. I have to become Yoshiro-sama. Right. I felt hot bubbles boiling over deep inside of me. I could tell the demon inside of me wanted to roar. I noticed Keiichi was looking down at me. Calm down, Mio. He can't tell what you're thinking. Calm down. At that point, I heard footsteps coming closer. I saw 4 or 5 adults, accompanied by Rena, running toward us with flashlights in their hands. One of them opened the lock on the cabinet door, and we all went inside, on the cabin door. Of course, there's nobody there. Sadako and Rika lived alone. I doubted Sadako would have left a note saying she was going over to the Sonozaki house when Rika was there already. But it wouldn't be fun if she had. Because of that, I hurried into the room ahead of Rena to make sure there was nothing left behind. I wonder if that too, if, like, Mion was just acting weird, that's part of how Rena figured it out. The rumor of Rika and Sadako's disappearance spread around the village quickly. More and more villagers gathered at the Furude shrine. God, that's just gonna piss her off more, right? Acting in place of the head of the Sonozaki family, I commanded them to search the village. The villagers nodded and scattered. How long had it been since the last time I was truly Mion? I felt so pleased that my body almost went numb. Yeah. Lots of villagers went in and out of the shrine. They yelled at each other that she was nowhere to be found. Some suggested other places to look, and they all left. They made a lot of noise with their come-ins and go-ins. Like, this whole idea of her being the curse now, I guess it's like her... doing it right, I suppose, right? Like, she... Yeah, that she thinks Sadako should have been the... that it's like Rika was almost manipulating what the true way the curse should have been by protecting Sadako, Yeah. Members of the Women's Association brought out huge pots and gas cookers from the storage and got ready to cook for the men. That was when I noticed Keiichi unsteadily walking towards a copse of dark pine trees, right, yeah. What was he thinking? How stupid of him to be alone on a night like this. If a person responsible for executing the curse was nearby, he wouldn't come back safely. That's when he goes off and, like, looks over the... Yeah. I remember that scene.
池の中も照らしたけど、明るくなんないとわかんないよ。
うん、ありがとうございます。婦人部の皆さんがお味噌汁を作ってくれてますので、召し上がって休んでください。
ミオンちゃん、あの二人って自転車どこに止めてたんか知ってるかい？
さあ、多分境
Right,
内
at
の
the
階
bottom
段
of
の
the
下じゃな
stairs,
いか
yeah.
な。まさかあの階段を担いで上がったりはしないでしょう。
ないんだよね。どこかに行っちゃったんだろうかね。
Could be anywhere. Who knows? Who knows?
自転車で遊びに行ったならそうかもしれんな。町か。
だとすると、ひなみ沢の中にはいないんかもしれんな。
そういえば、リカちゃまがいなくなったってのは誰が最初に気づいたんだ？
God, obviously something that like is so obvious. It's just so interesting. Of course, they don't call the cops, right? Why would they? They distrust the police so much in this village, right? I just don't even think I thought about that the first time in chapter 2, right?
ああ、ケイちゃんだけど、急に虫が知らせたんだとか。
前原屋敷のせがれさんか。
Oh, they think it's Keiichi who did it.
怪しいな。
Makes sense.
そういえば前原家は来てないのか、この一大事の時に。
前原家は町会未加入だから青年団の連絡網に入ってないんよ。
And like the knowledge of Keiichi going into the Saiguden has like spread by this
まあ
point,
すった
right?
らんしょうがな。
俺、入ったろ町会。ああ、あれさね、連絡網に名前が載ってないだけんと違う？連絡網新年に作ったきりやんね。途中から越してきたから載ってない。
前原のせがれさんの虫の知らせってのがどうもな。
第一発見者が一等怪しい言うやんね。そのせがれはどこ行ったんかいね。
さっき松林の
The
方に
first
ふ
one
ら
on
ふら
scene is
行
the
くの
most
を見たよ。
suspicious. Yeah, yeah, sure is, huh?
誰か呼んでくる？
Conveniently, I saw Keiichi and Rena walking back
ケ
toward
イちゃん、
us.
どこ行ってたんだよ。ケイちゃんまでいなくなったのかと心配したよ。
すまん。
It looked like nothing had happened to Keiichi. If so, that's fine. That means I took care of all of my enemies. Right, oh god. Go away,
美
Oishi.
味しい匂いが漂ってくると思ったら
Even now, I don't know, like, with the knowledge that, yes, obviously Oishi is, like, compared to Shion, it just feels ridiculous to hate on Oishi right now. He's not a child-murdering serial killer, okay? I'll give him that. That's all I'm giving him, though. That's all I'm giving Oishi. He's worse in every other way, right? Like, I'd rather be good friends with Shion the way she is now than Oishi. Like, let's keep it real.
これはぜひご評判に預かりたいですね。
I heard the loud, sticky voice of a middle-aged man. It was Oishi. He must be confused about this year's incident. The scale of the curse this time is nothing like the previous ones. Yeah, no kidding. Oishi's information network is about equal to or better than that of the elders on the town council. In other words, he could easily uncover a rumor that was circulating through the underside of the village. He must have come down here to see if the disappearances of Kimiyoshi and Rika had something to do with the changing of the lock on the ritual storehouse's door. The police will come for me sooner or later. I am Mion Sonozaki. By removing all of the heads of the three families, my enemies, I have become the head in their place. I can't allow Mion Sonozaki to continue existing. Oh, okay. I'll have to destroy the existence of the head of the Sonozaki family. When I destroy my own position, that is when my revenge will come to an end. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Yeah. More than likely, I'll have Oishi witness my final moments. Wow, right. Good. My eyes and Oishi's met. Damn it, he thinks I'm suspicious already. So I guess that is what she's doing. It's like now through her rejection of like the curse and the system in general, it's like she's she just thinks she's part of it now, right? So yeah, she's Mion Sonozaki, so she has to die too. Okay. Obviously, like, my answer to it would just be the system as it exists. If, like, the curse for her is that system, it just doesn't need to exist. The system doesn't need to exist, right? You don't have to kill everyone, but, you know. You're right, Oishi. I did it. Mion Sonozaki, the head of the Sonozaki family, is the culprit. Yeah. Great. Awesome. Good. I believe that is the end of the subchapter. We will keep going. I don't know if we're going to be able to do the whole next subchapter as well. Because, like, if it's 2 hours long again, that's going to be a 3-hour long video. I gotta go eat lunch soon. Like, man, I mean, I guess I could take a break. I don't know, I'd be uploading this late. Rika Furude. She's the head of the Furude family, but she never even appeared at the most important meetings. Even if she did show up, nobody would ask for her opinion, so it never really mattered if she was there or not. A legend of the Furude family says that if their firstborn child is a girl for 8 generations in a row, the 8th girl would be the reincarnation of Eishiro-sama. Yeah. And Takano had, like, the weird, like, meaning in Eishiro-sama's name to, like, represent that. Yeah. According to Takano-san's research, Rika Furude is very likely to be the one. Surely, she must be an important icon in the cult of Eishiro-sama. The true believers are devoted to her. So, it's quite surprising to me that Rika Furude herself was the assassin. It's unbelievable. It's just too abnormal. Yeah, that is, like, from her perspective, it must be crazy, you know? Usually, a VIP like her wouldn't be the one to assassinate someone. It's possible that it was Rika Furude look-alike, right? From the way she moved, she seemed experienced in fighting. It's not normal that a small girl like her would jump me without faltering. I just got lucky because I had a stun gun. Without it, I don't know what would have happened. She was far more skilled than she looked. Was she trained as an assassin? Or was it a body double? Everything is a mystery, including that creepy syringe. What's going on? I can't understand. She was like an apparition or something. Did Oyu Senazaki know of her existence? What is she hiding on the underside of this village? That underside might run much deeper than I thought. Huh. I guess, like, here, let me think that through, right? Like, what's my... I guess from my perspective, it's just the way she's thinking about Rika being in control of anything is just completely wrong. And it's just, like, she's just, the fundamental way she's thinking about it is just entirely incorrect. And that's just, I don't know, that's just the issue with the way she's thinking of it. Like, yeah, Rika has to go do stuff by herself, because she isn't actually in control of all this crazy stuff, right? Like, yeah, I don't know, right? And, I mean, I guess, you know, we don't know the details of how the weird time stuff with Rika works, but it's like, depending on how it works, it's like, yeah, it makes sense that she would, I don't know. It makes sense she would kill herself, probably, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. It makes sense she would do something so reckless, probably, right? It just depends on what her feelings are, right? Like, it's at the same time, in Chapter 4, she seems so nihilistic and so, like, you know, that she thinks it's impossible for anything to get better, or for her to escape this, it seems like, you know? So it is interesting that she has, like, the will to go try and do this with Shion, you know, rather than just sitting around and waiting and doing nothing, you know? Huh. Okay, next page. At this point, I believe that I can complete my revenge by destroying the curse system entirely. Right. That means I have to eliminate the heads of all the 3 families. The successor Shion, and the assassins who were after Keiichi. The assassins, right. Although Keiichi is completely unguarded, he hasn't been attacked so far, even though I told everybody that he was one of the trespassers. In fact, it's me who's being attacked. Rika Furude attacked me. According to my theory, Keiichi should make for very attractive bait. But nobody has done anything to harm him, so where does that lead you, huh? Since Rika Furude attacked me, it might be that opposing the Furude family is a greater taboo than trespassing the ritual storehouse. Rika Furude has said that intrusion wasn't a big deal. She sounded like she was going to let Keiichi walk. And after I accused her of that, Rika Furude attacked me that very night. Are there 2 different factions? Does one handle trespassers in the ritual storehouse, while the other protects the religious doctrines of the Furude family? No, that doesn't make any sense. Tempotake-san's death must have been caused by the Furude family's injections. Rika showed me the effect of it herself, clawing out her own throat and dying like that. But it's just not that, right? It's just not that. It can't be that. It's just not that, right? It just isn't. But Tomitake-san shouldn't have been subject to the curse, or at least according to the system of the Furude family. I don't understand why Keiichi hasn't been attacked. Did he have something exempting him from the curse, unlike Takano-san? Just like how only Sadako Hojo was spared? Keiichi is a friend of Rika Furude's. God, what I want Shion to learn so badly, is that Takano is still alive. What would she do? How would she react to learning that information, that Takano is still alive? Man. So, does that mean that if he were close to her, he wouldn't be cursed? Was she more important than the whole system? But Mion's close to her too, right? That's impossible. The hag was at the top of the curse system. Rika couldn't have been higher up than her. Scribble. Are there multiple ways to determine the subject of the curse? That's interesting that she just terminates the thought with that, right? That the hag must have been at the top, right? Because it could be, you know, following her line of logic, which I think is wrong. Rika could have been on the top, right? How would she know, right? But it just shows how personal this is to her, I think. That of course she wants to blame Moryu for everything, right? Yeah. Are there multiple ways to determine the subject of the curse? Are there as many curse execution groups as there are subjects? And do they all work separately? It's a mess. None of my theories add up. If I mess up my reasoning, I might make the wrong person the target of my revenge. Yeah. Yeah, you sure might. You sure might, Shion, huh? I don't understand who the enemy is, or how Sachi-kun was made to disappear. Did I skip a line? No, okay. How much did the hag know? That really was a huge loss. I have so many things I wanted to ask her. I killed her by accident. Shit. In that respect, I've already failed in my revenge. The underside of Hinamizawa really does run too deep. Scribble, scribble. The whole page is blacked out with scribbles. Awesome. Great. Good. Good. I wonder from what perspective we're, like, reading these from. You know, like that last line saying the whole page is blacked out from scribbles, right? In a Wishi's evidence locker after the fact or something. But it's like, then he would know it was Shion who did it. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's continue. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yo.
I'd be able to tell if this is the last subchapter if my achievements were working. For some reason, I don't get achievements in these games anymore. I don't know why. Because I would have gotten the achievement for getting all the tips there. But I don't know. So I have no idea.
皆さんまだ生きてる?
Kimiyoshi was hanging from the collar with his head turned up. Oh god. Hey everyone, are you all still alive? Great. What's the name of this track again? Depressive Paranoia. Right. Kimiyoshi's dead, I'm gonna assume. He didn't even move when I walked in. Maybe he's already dead. Oh god. Sadako was lying on a cross-shaped restraining table. She glared at me with red and swollen eyes, which must have been that way from crying. Yeah, Sadako is alive. Of course she's alive. Of course she's still alive. Right. I wanted to put her on this special restraining table to pound nails into her hands, but Sadako is too small for that. Oh yeah, didn't Shion say that to Keiichi at the end of chapter 2? I walked up to Kimiyoshi and poked his body with my toe. There was no response.
君吉のおじいちゃん死んだ? 人殺し.
Same thing she was saying to Keiichi. The end of chapter 3. Maybe Sadako had witnessed Kimiyoshi's last moments. I took a thick knife from the wall and stabbed Kimiyoshi with it. Good. There was no response.
君吉のおじいちゃん生きてるなら正直に生きてるって言ってくださいよ。死体のふりして逃げ出そうなんて通用しないから。
I walked over to the pulley that was suspending Kimiyoshi.
最終通告。生きてる？生きてるなら返事してね。
I paused just for a moment, then turned the pulley. Oh, God. Kimiyoshi's body swayed strangely in the air. It looked much more like a corpse like that.
どうしてこんなことをするんですの、シオンさん。ん？ああ、なるほど。
Oh, don't call her Shion. Oh, God, don't call her Shion. I don't know if that's... The door to the huge cave was still open. I bet Sadako had talked to the one in the cell while I was gone. The one in the cell. That's how she knows my name. Although, that's not actually my name at all. Exactly, yeah.
シオンじゃなくて、私が本当のミオン。
本当のミオン。
あんたたちがミオンだと思ってた方がシオン。
God.
まあややこしいだろうから理解しなくて結構。
Yeah, it's right.
よくもみんなをリカを。
Oh. I'd allowed Sadako to watch me take care of Rika's body. God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. What I'm thinking about is how, like, Sadako is, like, such a strong person, in a way, right? Like, I'm just thinking about the way she reacted to, like, everything that happened in Chapter 3. Like learning about Irie's death, just everything, you know? And obviously a lot of it's, like, this like, artificial, like, ever since Sachi disappeared, she feels like she has to be. She feels like she has to be strong, right? It's so much like Shion in a way, right? Like, feeling like she that it's her fault for what happened to Satoshi, and that she needs to be strong enough to not need to rely on other people and all of that, right? It's again, it's so close to like Shion's thing about wanting to be independent and mature and all of that, you know. So it's like kind of artificial from Sadako, but it's also just like kind of real, right? Like Sadako's faced a lot of horrible stuff in her life. So she is, like, such a strong person. I just wonder if that's gonna piss Shion off, right? Like, would she rather if Sadako, instead of acting like this, if she was just, like, crying and sobbing and just, like, besides herself, you know, about Rika's death, rather than... And maybe she was, right? Maybe she was when she first saw Rika's body. I don't know. God. Of course, I let her see Rika's neck, too. Good. Awesome. Good. Good.
あいつは私を殺しに来たんだよ。返り討ちにしたのさ。そんなことあるわけありませんわ。リカがそんなことするわけない。
Oh God.
信じないならそれでもいいよ。あんたにはどうでもいいことだし。私をどうするつもりなんですの？
Unspeakable things.
殺す。
Sadako's eyes went wide. She was expecting my answer, I'm sure, but she still looked shocked. I bet she didn't expect me to state it so openly. I heard the noise of something hitting iron bars echoing in the huge cave. Oh, Shion's voice echoed there as well. I answered her clearly. Right.
あんたはそれをサトシ君の時にしなかった。だからサトシ君は虫けらのように殺されてしまったんだ。
What is Sadako?
あんたはサトシ君を救える100億の瞬間を見捨てた、見殺した。
Right, because like from Sadako's perspective, this has to be fucking insane, right? Like, Shion is saying she's doing all of this for Satoshi, and then Sadako is sitting here hearing her saying all of that, right? Like, what the fuck? Like...
そうさ、それがあんたの罪なのさ。
But Shion blames her for it too, of course, right? Like, and what's sad is so does Sadako, right? So does Sadako. Sadako blames herself for what happened to Satoshi too, right? That's the crazy thing. In a sense, right? Like she thinks Sadako she thinks Satoshi disappeared. Cause like, yeah, cause he got like what, got sick of her, right? Like it's like, you know, she has this very negative view of it. Oh God. Before even finishing my sentence, I stabbed Sadako's right arm. Good. Awesome. Great. Cool. Her blood started to flow out. This was nothing compared to what happened to Rika Furude. I twisted the knife into Sadako's arm. She bit down hard, crying. Awesome. Good. Oh, God. And, like, from Shion. Oh, and Shion. Like, that's just gonna piss Shion off, right? Because now it's that... Why would Mion be willing to say that now? When from Shion's perspective, she wasn't willing to say it for Satoshi, right? Why shouldn't you say that for Satoshi-kun? Exactly, right? It's too late now. I was the one screaming like you back then. But no matter how loudly I screamed, it never reached them. Never reached them, spared him, or saved him. Or herself, right? Like, or, like, again, it took all of this happening to Satoshi for Shion to... It's like Satoshi is just like an insert for herself, too, right? Like, yeah. I want you to go through the same thing I did. Awesome. Stabbing her in the arm. Great, good. So she's not dying. That's really cool. I stabbed Sadako's arm repeatedly, but the knife kept hitting her bone. Oh, Jesus. I didn't feel like I was cutting any of her flesh. Oh. Oh, it's gonna be so bad. The scene of her whipping Oryu and the horrible graphic description of like the hair and the blood and stuff like on Shion. That's like came up in my mind so many times since I've read that. Like just how it like feels like it gets under your skin and like how it like talks about it. Oh God, it's gonna be that again, but it's gonna be with Sadako. Oh Jesus, oh God. Cause Sadako is the one, cause like even more than Oryu, Sadako is the one that Shion really wants to like fucking hurt and kill and murder and torture, and oh Jesus Christ. Oh god, oh god, oh god.
よーし、シオン。じゃあこうしよう。サトコの助け方を教えてあげよう。あんたはこれから1000回ごめんなさいって言うんだよ。
Oh god, the apologies.
言い終わったらサトコを解放する。
Is it a good time to try and talk about the apology stuff, about how, like, I still have no idea what's up with all of that, right? Like, again, it's like what I mean is, like, Rena, like, repeating I'm sorry over and over again in the outside Keiichi's house in Meakashi. The stuff at the very beginning of the first game in Meakashi, literally the first lines of the entire story, which was Keiichi saying he felt like he heard someone apologizing and all of this, and his thoughts on the idea of, like, apology and all of this stuff, you know? It's come up, like, several times. It's come up so many times in the game in general, right, since then, right? It's just, like, every once in a while, it's just something that reminds you of it. And, like, Shion, too, like, it's... I don't know. I guess I just don't know what to think about it. It's just, yet again, it's just another thing that's so clearly related to that. I just don't know what to think about it.
どう？
Oh, God. Because, like, in this case, we know Shion's lying, right? She won't, right? Because, like, you know, Shion's just gonna laugh at her and say, ha ha ha, I apologized 10 million times for Satoshi, so it's not enough. I'll laugh at you, and, you know. Oh, God.
私は嘘をつかないよ。あんたが1000数えたら絶対に約束を守る。あんたがけじめをつけたってことをちゃんと理解してね。さあ、どうするの？ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
She has started to apologize like a broken record. She's so stupid and honest. She's not even thinking of cheating. I bet Shion really will count to 1,000. I stabbed Sadako in the wrist. There, I felt something hard. I guess I either crushed her bone or scraped it. It must have been extremely painful for her. Sadako screamed. It's gonna remind... It's just gonna remind her of, like, Sadako stuff. Shion's voice got louder as if trying to overpower that scream. Oh my god, oh god, oh god, oh god, yeah.
泣けばニーニーが来てくれる？ニーニーがかけてきて私を跳ね飛ばしてあんたを助けてくれるのかな？
The knife was still in Sadako's wrist. Oh, okay. Awesome. Oh, good. Awesome, good. Cool, good. Awesome, great. Yeah, fantastic. I just, like, what is she doing? Like, what is she doing? Like, what is she doing? What is she doing? Right? Like, because from Shion's perspective, it's like, what? She feels like this has been a whole life, right? That she can cry all she wants, no one's gonna come rescue her. Like the nail scene, right? Like her getting her nails ripped off. There was no one there to rescue her, right? No one was gonna rescue her. The people she was crying to, who she wanted to rescue her, were right there. Instead of helping her, they made the torture happen, right? So... I guess she wants Sadako to feel that same pain. Again, it's like right now... It's like Shion is unaware of the fact that she is like Sadako, right? Like, Shion thinks of herself as being like Satoshi, right? Like, I just don't understand. I just don't get it from her perspective, right? How can she be doing this to Sadako and not see what she's doing as being, like, the same as what happened to her, right? Like, oh, God. Or if she does, then I don't understand what she's doing. You know what I mean? Like...
Satoko? 私の声が聞こえる？聞いてる？聞けよこら！
I slapped her face several times and made her look at me.
あんたは自分の罪が分か
What
っ
has
て
she
る。
done? What has she done? Killed
あん
Satoshi?
たの存在がどれほどにサトシ君を追い詰めていたか知っている？
Very existence is what. So it's like she's not even saying that Sadako should have done anything differently. She kind of is, but you know what I mean. What she's pointing out is that she shouldn't have existed. If she just didn't exist, she would have been fine, right? The very fact that there was someone for Satoshi to care about and to want to look after, that is what she's blaming all of this on, right? So, like, for her, it would be like the same, right? It's like, if Mion just hadn't existed, then she would have been fine. There wouldn't have been anyone for her to care about and to give up any part of herself for, right? It wouldn't have led her to this. Yeah, yeah. But again, it's so weird, because it's just, she has been living as Sadako, as Shion, for so long, that she knows what it's like, but I guess it's just that's why her attitude about it is the way it is, right? Oh no, oh Sadako girl, oh.
そう。あんたはニーニーって泣けばよかった。泣きさえすればいつもサトシ君がかばってくれた。でもね、サトシ君の負担ってものを考えたことがある？サトシ君はね、あんたのヒーローでなければ不死身でもない。あんたと同じね。
Just like you. It was just like you. And I guess, like, the other thing, I guess oh, God. The other thing, I guess, I don't know what to say about, too, is just, like, how does Shion view this with, like, the way Satoshi treated her, right? Because Shion was getting this from Satoshi, too, right? She was getting, like, all of these things from him caring about her, and like, I guess from Shion's perspective, she would just think she would never do something like that to him, like be a burden on him or make him do anything to hurt himself for her, right? Despite them having this relationship where he did care about her, right? But, like, that's just impossible, right? I guess that's just the whole thing. It's like Shion is fighting against the idea of what a relationship essentially is, which is like, yeah, you're going to give things up for the other person, right? That's just how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna work, right?
傷つけば血も流れ、痛めばうめく、全く同じ人間なの。あんたの代わりに矢面に立ってくれたサトシ君の痛みを、あんたは理解していたの？してない。しようとさえしなかった。あんたはサトシ君に甘えてた。サトシ君に寄生していた。
Leached off of him.
そうさ。サトシ君が傷ついて流すその血を舐めて、お前は生きてきたのさ。
God.
そんな呪われた身でありながら、この後に及んでまだサトシ君の名を呼ぶのか。
God, it's like the righteous anger from her perspective, right? She really thinks this is right, you know? And it just, again, I mean, it just says so much about how she thinks of herself and Mion and, yeah.
あんたはその罪を今から償うのさ。私の手によってね。
Oh, good. She's gonna help her. Awesome.
好きなだけ泣き叫べばいい。
Right.
そしていくら泣いてもサトシ君が助けに来てくれないことを知るがいい。
Good.
そう。お前が追い詰めた。お前がいなくした。お前がサトシ君を殺してしまったん
だ。After telling her all I'd been wanting to, I exhaled roughly. I just, like... Oh, God. I don't know. There's so many things I want to say, but they're just all stupid. I don't know.
どうしたよ。右腕はもう感覚がない。じゃあ左腕にするか。
Good. Great. Awesome. I stabbed her left arm repeatedly, and her blood flowed out. But Sadako's reactions weren't fun anymore. She didn't cry or scream like she did before. Isn't that what you should want? That put me in a bad mood, so I stabbed the back of her left hand and twisted the knife again. Although no, I guess it's like she wants Sadako to be a punching bag for her, right? She wants to like killing Sadako, torturing her like here. It's almost like she's killing like that part of herself in a way too, right? So like yeah, she doesn't want Sadako to like be strong or like, you know, she wants her to sit here and keep crying for her Nini and all of this, you know, because that's what she's killing, right? So yeah, she wants Sadako to act like that. But Sadako still just moaned. She didn't scream anymore.
どうしたの？叫ぶと私を喜ばすと思って。せめて悲鳴を絞って抵抗ってわけ。そりゃいいや。
I mean, there's only, I don't know. Only so much one person can, I don't know, like she's like, Sadako is unfazed by my mad laughter. She looked at me with gritted teeth and resignation.
へえ、私もそう思ってましたのよ。
Yeah, oh, God.
は？私が ニーニー
Yeah,
を追い詰めた
yeah,
から
yeah,
いな
yeah,
くな
yeah.
ってしまった。
'Cause she agrees.
ニーニーがいなくなったその日にもう気づいてましたのよ。
God.
私が甘えていた。ニーニーのすねをかじり続けてしまった。ニーニーも辛かったはずなのに、私はニーニーにすがることをやめられなかった。その点につきましては、あなたの言う通りですわ。弁解の余地なんて
Oh God, girl.
ありま
Come
せんでしたよ。
on. How will Shion react to that? Sadako didn't sound as if she was mocking me or trying to please me. She spoke so
ちょっと
naturally.
意外だね。あんたが自分の罪に自覚があったとはね。
God, of course. I mean, like, just think, like, this is such a genuine sound for her to have made. Like, she's so, you know, but God, it's so hard to, like, get through to her, I guess. Like, I mean, get through to her in terms of her, like, to actually, like, for that to mean anything for her, right? Like, I don't know, like, because she's playing such a role right now, you know? Like, it's so, like... Because it's like, how will she, like, what does that mean for her, right? Like, I don't know, like... Like, how much of this does Shion think of for herself, right? I don't know. Because it's like, what is Shion doing right now, right? I don't know.
ニーニーはきっと帰ってきてくれる。
But he's not.
いつかきっと帰ってくるんですの。
That's where their difference is, right?
でもね、帰ってきたら
Independent,
もう一人前になっているところを見せるんですのよ。
right.
私、もうニーニーに甘えない。
God.
背中に隠れたりしない。しっかりした一人前になったことを教えてあげるんですの。帰ってきたらいいね。帰ってきたら。
Stabbed Sadako's arm in a mad frenzy. She still didn't even scream. Like, I don't know. Like, what does that mean? Right? Like, what does that mean? The fact that Sadako feels like this too, of course, right? That she wants to be independent and she wants to stop relying on other people and all of this, right? Like... It's interesting because it comes from a different place. It comes from a different place because for Shion, when Shion was Mion, she felt she had this negative outcome that came from her switching places with Mion and all of this happening, right? Like she had this negative outcome that came from her trying to be a good big sister for Mion, right? And she switched places with her, and then all this horrible stuff happened, blah, 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 right? So from Shion's perspective, she decides she wants to be independent because she sees that she thinks the way that Mion was acting, relying on her in some sense, right? Like, not even relying on her, just Shion... Because, like, it seems like was Mion even like that? Like, maybe, right? Like, she was crying and stuff. That's kind of the way that Shion, like, explained the story. But, like, it's like Shion's feeling of wanting to be independent and all of this comes from this place of, like, wanting to be a good little sister. In terms of, like, not relying on Mion to not do the same thing to her that Shion feels like happened to her when she was trying to be a good big sister, right? It's just interesting. It comes from a different place because for Sadako was never the big sister, right? Sadako was always the little sister. And she came to the same conclusion of wanting to be independent, not wanting to rely on Satoshi, despite never having been in his shoes, right? It's like she got that same like negative outcome feeling from it, right? From having relied on him like too much in her mind. I think that's incredibly unfair to herself, right? She's blaming herself when she shouldn't. But she got that same feeling. She has the same She reached the same point, the same conclusion as Shion, from the other end, right? From, you know, like, rather than trying to be a good little sister in order to, like, I feel like I've lost what I'm saying. I haven't lost what I'm saying. I know what I'm trying to say. I'm bad at communicating it. I hope you understand what I mean. Like, she was never the big sister, right? Unlike Shion. And that's where Shion's, like, behavior comes from. That's, like, the genesis of it, right? That's why she tries to, like, know her place like that. Or that's why she acted like that for so long, you know? And for Sadako, it's the other way around, right? She was always the little sister, and she sees the sacrifice that Satoshi did for her, and that is her reason for, you know, rather than experiencing it herself, she sees it from the other way, right? I guess I don't really know what that means. I don't really know, like, how that will look in Shion's eyes. Obviously, her response to it is stabbing her arm in a mad frenzy, so, like, how does she feel? What does that mean to Shion? What does that mean to Shion that that's possible? That's how Sadako feels, right? I mean, like, it is very important, right? It's definitely something very important, you know, something very core to understanding, like, Shion's thoughts and feelings here. God, I don't know, like, what that means exactly, right? Because, like, Mion was never given the opportunity to do this, from Shion's eyes, because they switched places, right? Because then Mion was in the big sister shoes, right? So it's not like Mion would have had the opportunity to have seen what happened to Shion and then try and make up for it. Even though she kind of did, right? Like, Mion's general attitude about things, the way she's acted towards Shion, so apologetic, so, you know, like, so deferent in a sense, despite Shion's deference to her at the same time, right? It's like she's tried to, but she couldn't, right? Because the position she's in. God, I don't know. We should just continue. She bit down tightly and swallowed her pain instead. Because that's what she thinks Satoshi would want. Yeah. God, oh god. And the fact that Sadako hasn't given up on Satoshi, and Shion, like, Shion has had this horrible struggle over the idea of giving up on him, and that being like a betrayal of Satoshi, right? So what's she gonna, how's she gonna feel about this, right? Like, the fact that Sadako hasn't given up on him still, right? That's just gonna make it so much worse. Her own feelings about that, right? About having, like, given up on Satoshi, thinking that he is dead, that he is gone, right? Like, oh, God.
それまで待ってるんですのよ。そして、ニーニーに、今まで甘えてきて、本当にごめんなさいって謝るんですの。それまで、負けるものか。もう私は絶対にニーニーに甘えたりしないの。どんな苦難にも、ニーニーの助けを呼ばない。呼ばない。泣かない。叫ばない。泣いたら、ニーニーが来てしまう。だから、私は一人で耐えてみせるんですのよ。
So, like, now what? Does Shion feel inferior to Sadako now, right? Or is that how this could end up, right? Like, she feels like, you know, like, maybe. Because what Shion's trying to do is trying to blow it all up, right? She's trying to just, she's just killing everyone, right? She's just, like, she's trying to, and it's like, in the face of that, Sadako's still acting like this, you know? It's like, God, how does that feel in Shion's eyes about what it says about her and her actions and everything she's been doing and, like, her relationship with Satoshi? And it's just like, it's so... God, but you're just gonna die, Like, what's the point? What is the point, Sadako, of acting like this and of feeling like this about yourself and about Satoshi if you're just gonna die, right? If, like, in the face of death like this, you're still going to act like this, right? Like, it says this about Sadako, that it's like, that she thinks she deserves death for it, that it's fine if she gets tortured to death for this crime of having depended too much on him, you know what I mean? Like
私は泣かないんだから、疑うなら好きなだけ試してみろ。ニーニーは見ててくれる。私が本当に我慢強くなって一人前になったことを見ててくれる。私が泣き虫じゃなくなったことを見ていてくれる。それをニーニーが見届けてくれたとき、きっとニーニーは帰ってきてくれるんですのよ。さあ、いくらでも試してみろ。私は泣かない。北条聡子がどれほどの強さを持つか試してみろ。
God, I don't even know. Like, no, I just need some Shion thoughts on this, I think. I just think it's too much to really try and, like, understand how Shion will take this. Like, just in terms of, like, her relationship, it's just, I don't know. There's just too much. There's too many ways Shion could take this. There's too, like... Oh, God. Cause like, it's Sadako's, like, refusal, even in the face of this, even to being, like, tortured to death, right? To not give up on this, and to still view herself in this horrible, negative, unfair way, right? That I think is I think that is the important thing. That is the really important thing, because I think it will make Shion think about her own actions, everything she's doing in this chapter. Because Shion broke in a way where she didn't let herself be killed by Mion and Oryu, right? And Sadako's willing to let that happen to herself. You know what I mean? Like, Shit. I'll show her. Yeah, show her. Yeah, she wants to break her, right? In order for Shion to, like, justify her actions and everything she's been doing, all this crazy shit, she has to break Sadako, right? Because if Sadako doesn't break, then Shion will just tell herself that she could have been stronger too, right? That she shouldn't have given up on Satoshi, that she could have done all of these things, that she, you know, like, the horrible self-destructive feeling she had of she needs to be able to endure ripping off all of her fingernails and all of this, you know, like, that eventually that she couldn't anymore, right? She eventually, she had the eye-opening, she had the realization that her situation was awful and unfair and all of this, you know? But here's Sadako, who she thinks is such a stupid, diminutive, weak girl who's pathetic and worthless in her eyes, you know? And she is sitting here able to take so much worse than she was, right? So, like, how is Shion gonna take that, right? Because Shion took the torture and all of this thinking it was her place, right? Until eventually it was too much and she broke, right? She couldn't anymore, right? Like, not, I mean, like, I mean, it was at the end when she thought Mion and Oryu were gonna kill her, right? So, like, obviously, of course, right? That makes sense, right? But Sadako doesn't break even then when she's being tortured to death, right? So it's just gonna go back and make Shion think, oh God, right? Like, it's just gonna. No, it's just gonna reinforce it. It's gonna go back. And, like, if in your mind it's like you think Sadako, I mean, if you think Shion has made some amount of, like, progress mentally in terms of the way she views herself and the dynamic of the Sonozakis, which, like, she hasn't really, right? She hasn't really. If anything, it's like this reinforces that idea. This reinforces that she should have continued to view herself in that way, right? Like, God, and the fact that Sadako feels like she is the one on Satoshi's side, right? Like, that's what really. Yeah. That it's almost like instead of Shion's actions being breaking this system that she thinks that's what she's doing, breaking it all down entirely by killing everyone like this. It's like through her torture of Sadako now, it's like she's reinforcing it because Sadako herself is using it as justification to act the way she's acting, right? Like, oh God, it's such a bleak, it's such a bleak, horrible way to, like, you know, like it's the same, like, self-destructive, like, idea of maturity and independence and like stoicism that Shion felt like she needed to have, right? Just taken to this extreme that through Sadako here, right? That it's like, it's just such a horrible way to view things, right? It's this, like, it's just, you know, like, even just in terms of, like, the message of the story, I just don't know what to take from this, right? Like, it's just so awful, you know? Like,
こんなことこの程度でこんなくらいで私は泣かない
God.
助けを呼ばない耐えられる耐えてみせるニーニーが私に代わって傷ついてくれた痛みには
Yeah.
こんなのはるかに及ばないんだから
And it's like, now Shion's just part of it, you know? Shit. Why doesn't she feel the pain? Doesn't it hurt? There's no way it doesn't. I've been stabbing her so much, the knife went in so deep. Yeah, the knife went in so deep. Her blood is poured to the ground, and I've been turning her flesh inside out. How can she still talk that way? Why doesn't she cry and scream? Yeah, like you did, right? Like you have, you know? Like you... And if you should cry and scream, right? You should, both of you should have, right? After Sadako said what she wanted to say, she shut her mouth. She didn't say a word after that. No matter how much I stabbed her, twisted the knife, tore at her, and ripped out her flesh, she didn't even make a sound. What in the world is this? This isn't the Sadako I know. Sadako is never as strong as this. If Sadako was this strong, she wouldn't have been a burden to Sachi-kun. Why wasn't she strong before? It's too late. Everything is too late. Why wasn't she as strong before? Yeah. The idiot's maturity came far too late. Her blood made my hands slippery, and I dropped the knife. I was covered in blood from head to toe. Sadako is still enduring the pain. Is she not dead? She was enduring this cruelty so she could display her strength. I couldn't defeat Sadako. I couldn't crush her strength. Sadako had achieved her goal. She had become independent, so she didn't need Sachi-kun anymore. That's what it means to become independent? That's what it has to mean? To be tortured and to not give in? I don't think so. I think you can rely on other people more than that. Well before that point. She still believes Sachi-kun will come back one day. She looks forward to a day when she can show her brother how strong she had become. But Sachi-kun hasn't seen any of that. Instead, I, who never even thought that Sachi-kun would come back, was the one who witnessed her strength. Yeah. It's like, what a betrayal, right? What was I thinking? I thought Sachi-kun was dead. No, I assumed he was. Why did I? I never even thought of waiting for him. I didn't believe he would come back. I didn't wait. Yeah, I gave up so fast, right? But it's such a stupid, unfair way to think of it, right? It's like, it's still in this vein of, like, her thinking she has, like, this responsibility to him, you know, you know, like... I tried to revenge him, but I guess what I really did was forget about him. Sadako is different. She never even thought he was dead. No, maybe she did a little, but even so, she waited. Right, it's like she thought that her own life was worth less than even the... you know, than even entertaining the idea that he's dead. Like, the 1% chance that he's still alive is worth more than, like, her own life, right? And is that what you should be, like... What about me? I didn't do anything. I wanted to forget about my sadness, so I tried to find my enemy. I became a demon, using revenge as an excuse, so I didn't have to think like a human. I lost. I couldn't endure the pain of waiting for Sachi-kun, so I chose to become a demon. In other words, I got rid of my soul, the soul that loved Sachi-kun. In other words, I got rid of Sachi-kun himself, yeah. Sadako won. While she had been gritting her teeth before, her mouth had gone slack. Her eyelids were half shut, but I could see her eyes a little. They looked like she was dreaming about something happy. Right. Ugh. Sachi-kun was there in her eyes. Satoko endured, so Sachi-kun came for her. Sadako ran up to Sachi-kun. She jumped onto him. Sachi-kun hugged her, and they spun around. You can cry now. Sachi-kun told Sadako that, and she cried very hard. Sachi-kun rubbed her head so gently. We'll be together forever, he said, and continued to rub her head so gently, so gently. Sachi-kun, I was waiting for you too. What meaningless words. He was already dead inside of me. I never believed in our reunion. How pitiful of me to say that, just because I saw Sadako and Sachi-kun together again. As Sachi-kun hugged Sadako, his eyes met mine. Shion, Sachi-kun said. I asked you a favor. What favor? I tried to remember. What kind of favor did Sachi-kun ask me? To look after Sadako? Sachi-kun looked at me so sadly, because I couldn't remember. That sad look tore my heart to shreds. The blood flowing out from me wasn't as pretty as Sadako's blood. My blood was a slimy liquid, like vomit, with filthy chunks of food in it. That was what filled my body. God.
たたりだろうと、この村の何者かの陰謀だろうと、僕は絶対に消えない。消されない。
Is that the truth? Did you not?
消えないよ、サトシ君は。
消えないよ、サトコに。あのぬいぐるみを買ってやる
But
までは
how
ね。
how can she come to terms with that, right? How can she come to terms with that?
もうすぐお給料がもらえることになってる。その日までは絶対に消えない。
all of these people just destroyed themselves for others, right? Satoshi killed himself for Sadako, right? Like, Sadako killed herself for Satoshi. Shion killed everyone for Satoshi, and it just doesn't have to be like that, though, right? Like, it just doesn't have to be like that, right? Like, if you care about another person, you don't have to kill yourself for them. And if you are cared for by another person, you don't have to be willing to die for them, right? Like, Huh? A memory of the past. But when? Ah, of course. This is a memory of the day before last year's Utanagashi. Sachi-kun called me on the phone then.
おばさんが帰ってきたからもう切るよ。
うん。
ミオン。
何？
His aunt was home. Oh, God. His aunt was home, so I'm sure he wanted to hang up as quickly as possible. Sachi-kun paused and spoke.
サトコのこと頼むからね。
Yeah. My knees and elbows started to shake. My teeth chattered and my fingers were shivering. Sachi-kun asked me to. What have I done? I mean, it's like, she had this, like, revelation, too, in chapter 3, right? About Sadako. When she was talking to Keiichi on the phone before Tanagashi. In terms of, like, just her thinking about how this is what Satoshi wanted from her, and she hadn't done anything about it. I couldn't wait for Sachi-kun to come back, so I filled myself with evil thoughts and acted as I pleased. I didn't believe he'd ever return. I even forgot about Sachi-kun's last request. How can I say I love him? Right, yeah, I mean, this is just, it's just another thing, right? It's just another thing now that Shion, that, like, what? She thinks she put herself over what he wanted, so it's like, and of course, because of the way she thinks of herself, that she's just, like, oh god. I just wanted to forget about my feelings of loss, so I made myself all bloody. How can I welcome him back now? I didn't believe Sachi-kun would come back. I didn't believe Sachi-kun was alive. I didn't think he was alive, so I thought he was dead. I believed in his death. I killed him in myself. Nobody else did. I did that. But Sadako believed until the very end, and she was rewarded in her final moments. Was she rewarded? It just shows how Shion puts that idea. She puts that idea of not burdening others around you and being independent in that way above, like, life itself, right? Like, Sadako wasn't here anymore. She had no more need for her bloody, painful shell. But I'm still here. You're trapped here. Yeah, trapped in my bloody, tainted flesh. I'm going to rot inside of it. Sachi-kun was waiting for both Sadako and me. But to be reunited with Sachi-kun, we had to keep our promises. Sadako's promise was to be strong. Sadako kept that promise until the bitter end. And Sachi-kun embraced her. My promise was to take care of Sadako for Sachi-kun. I never kept the promise from the beginning. Therefore, Sachi-kun will never embrace me. Even if I were to rub Sadako's wounds and ask her if they hurt, that wouldn't mean anything. That was when I felt something behind me. Great. It wasn't Sachi-kun or the thing that scared me before. I didn't know who it was, but it was right there, criticizing me for my mistakes. Then, I finally realized it. That thing is me. I had always been there, standing behind myself and watching me break that promise. Sachi-kun asked me to take care of Sadako, yet I didn't keep that promise. I had been watching that happen. You're just the demon now. I cried and gave up on myself. Wait. Sachi-kun gave up on me, and I gave up on myself. What will happen to me now? I don't want to be in this darkness. I don't want to be all bloody. Please don't leave me. If I give up on myself, what will happen to my body? There will be nothing left. The only thing I'll have left in me is an evil demon. Ah, I get it. I've known it for a long time now. I am nothing but a demon. And, like, all I can think about with her saying things like this is, like, in the end, it's like this is how she was supposed to view herself, right? Like, right, this is, like, what the Sonozakis put into her. The idea that she's nothing, you know? That she's just inferior, and that she's just the stupid, worthless daughter, right? I mean, again, it's like she knows what it's like on the other end, but most of her life, that's what she was, right? That's the treatment she had to deal with, that she's nothing and no one. And it all just comes back to that, right? That it's just, in the end, it's, you know, she can't escape that. A demon doesn't feel sad. A demon's heart can never be in pain. Easier to think like that, right? A demon doesn't cry. Shion was still apologizing. She believed that was the only way for her to save Sadako. Her voice was growing hoarse and weak.
Shion! もう数えなくていいよ!
Ah.
ご苦労さん!
I guess she realized what happened to Sadako. Shion cried in her cell. Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't have to care anymore. Yeah, great. Awesome, right? She's unable to, I mean, it's those feelings, those emotions that have led her to this, right? Like this highly empathetic, like feeling of not wanting to be a burden on others, of caring so much about how she impacts other people, right? Because she's felt it. So yeah, just give up on all of it, right? Why not?
私も人の世ってやつを十分に楽しませてもらったからね。そのうち自らの命を絶って鬼の国へ帰らせてもらう。
Right.
でも安心し
Not
な。
before you deal with
その前に
everyone.
ちゃん
Yeah.
とあんたは殺していく。あんたを殺すために今があるんだもの。私はそのためにいる。人を嘆かせて泣き声をすするのは私の鬼の優越だもんね。そうだ。あんたはケイちゃんが好きだったね。
Yeah, because she just can't deal with it, right? I mean, she's just broken mentally entirely, because she just can't, I don't know, she just can't do it, right? Yeah.
よし。あんたの前でケイちゃんを引き裂いてあげるよ。これは極めつきだね。その後にあんたを殺し、私も殺そう。そうさ。鬼ヶ淵村は鬼の村。かつて鬼ヶ淵より湧き出した鬼が村を襲った伝承のある村。
Like, something that's just so horrifying to me about this whole situation is just how realistic it is. How someone could do this. If one of your friends became an evil demon who wanted to kill everyone, they could so easily lure you to their house one by one and torture you to death. And, like, I don't know, it's just, God, it's just actually just... And I mean, I feel like that's just, like, a meaningful thing to think about, just in terms of, like, the, you know, how friendship and those kinds of connections like that can be horribly abused like that, right? That's certainly the way Shion, like, that makes sense with the way Shion views, like, relationships.
私もまた伝承の鬼たちのように猛威を振るい、そしてお社様の裁きを待とう。それでこそ、ひなみ沢村にふさわしい災禍と言えるだろうね。
Right.
Ah, ケイちゃんですか？私です。シオンです。電
Oh,
話
here we go.
なかなか出なかっ
Yeah.
たんで、お留守か
Okay.
と思って切ろうとし
Oh,
てた
we're
んで
going
すよ。
fast. Yeah, okay. This is when Keiichi confronts her.
ごめん。ちょっとお風呂に入っててさ。
それでもご家族の方が
Oh
電話を
yeah,
取り
I
ませんか？
God, this is when Keiichi didn't Keiichi have like a I don't know, like a 30-minute long insane panic attack about whether or not to answer the phone and like like it's just Keiichi's thing, right?
ひょっとしてケイちゃんの
Yeah.
家、今ご両親はお留守なんですか？
いや別に留守ってわけじゃ。そんなことより聞いたか、リカちゃんとサトコの件。
いえ、結局あの後どうなったんですか？見つかったんですか？
見つからなかった。
ケイちゃん、どうか気を落とさないで。
God, her only goal at this point is just to kill Keiichi,
リカ
right?
ちゃ
I
んと
mean,
サ
like,
トコは
yeah.
さらわれたんだよな。
はい、それは間違いないでしょうね。
リカちゃんとサトコは。いや、ごめん。村長さんはさらわれてどうなったと思う？まだ生きてるんだろうか？
He was probably hung up in the torture dungeon and suffocated to death slowly and died. Keiichi sounded confused. He wanted to believe Sadako and Rika were still alive, which is why he was asking. Keiichi was just like Sadako. Unless the culprit was after money, the abductee would usually get killed right away. I'd never assumed they'd still be alive. But Keiichi was trying to hold on to a little hope. Which she couldn't do. I could feel his strength. It was much greater than mine. I'm a demon, so I didn't come up with an excuse.
殺されちゃったんだと思います。
おいおい、そんなにあっさり。
人間をさらってその状態を維持するのってとても大変なことだと思います。人質にするんでもない限り、用が済んだら殺しちゃうのが一番合理的じゃないかと。
Which you haven't done with me on, but...
殺しちゃうって、そんなにあっさり。人の命を何だと思ってやがるんだ。
恐ろしいことだと
God,
思い
because
ま
it's
す。
like Keiichi's humanity is so strong, right? That feels like a stupid thing to say, but you know what I mean? He has such a sense of like that, you know? It's such a difference from the way Shion is now,
多
right?
分そうではないかと。
村長が殺されたということは、リカちゃんやサトコも同じように殺されたかもしれないということなのか？いや、そんなはずは。どっかのじじいとはわけが違うぞ。
Some random old man.
サトコだぞ。そんなにあっさりと殺すはずは。
Keiichi was still refusing to believe what I said. He fought so hard because he didn't want to kill his friends within him. Yeah, I wasn't like that. I killed Sachi-kun within me so easily. I blamed Shion for not protecting Sachi-kun, but I killed him so easily.
リカちゃんとサトコちゃんも同じだと思った方がいいでしょうね。
Probably better. Oh, God, I remember that. Yeah. Keiichi roared and cried. It was like their deaths were physically agonizing him. Because, I mean, we know, too, he thinks it's his fault, right? Like, yeah.
どうしてだよ。どうして人をさらったり殺したりするんだよ。
Oh, and he's screaming at her because he thinks it's her, right? I remember, yeah.
当たりだかなんだか知らないが、人の命ってのはそんなに安いのかよ。あっさり消したり殺したり。
ええ、全くです。悪魔ですよね。
I laughed at myself. I was sure Keiichi didn't
なあ、
notice.
シオ、教えてくれ。どうしてこのひなみ沢では綿流しの夜に人が死ななければならないことになってしまったんだ。
I wonder if this is... I don't know. I
So
just wonder how Shion is going to take Keiichi blaming her for all of it. Because it is her, it's been her fault, obviously, right? I don't know.
もうダム計画との戦いは終わったんだぞ。なのに、どうしてまだたり足りないんだ。
Because again, there's kind of like this cognitive dissonance Shion has between the curse and what she's doing, right? It's like she realized the fact that she just is the curse this year, right? That she is just the one doing it, you know? I guess Tomoto can talk now.
理由があるなら言ってみろよ。
ケイちゃんの気持ち 私もよくわかります。ダム闘争はとっくの昔
Yeah,
に
I
終
mean,
わっ
that's
た
how
ん
she
です。
felt about Satoshi,
なのに
right?
毎年、お社様のたたりという名の殺人と失踪が繰り返されている。なぜ？どうしてなんですか？全然関係ない人もいた。たたられるのに不相応な人だっていたのに、どうして？
Some of them.
どうして？
それを俺が聞いてるんだ。
それを私だって知りたいんですよ。
Of course. The curse of Orishiro-sama never existed. It was just a bizarre environment that allowed people to kill in the name of Orishiro-sama. The environment, and nothing more. Nothing would have happened unless there were demons who danced with him.
いいですか？お社様のたたりなんて非現実的なものは初めから存在しません。ケイちゃんの言う通り、村の何者かがお社様のたたりというもっともらしい大義名分を利用して、綿流しのたびに殺しと失踪を繰り返しているんです。
It's like she's trying to get that idea out there to him, right?
奴ら
Well, no,
は
I guess her plan is for him to die,
たた
so...
りを都合よく利用して、
I don't even know
村の
why
旧
she
敵を
bothers
毎年
telling him
2人ずつ
this.
消し去るシステムを構築していったんです。
Yeah, and that really is what she thinks. Yeah,
そ
yeah,
して
I
こ
mean...
のシステムで今年は高野さんたちが殺された。
じゃあ2人で十分じゃねえかよ。どうして村長やリカちゃんやサトコまで殺されなくちゃならないんだよ。それに俺は過去のことは今さらどうでもいいんだ。リカちゃんとサトコがなぜ殺されなくちゃならなかったのか。どうしてなんだ。サトコには打ち明けですらないんだぞ。どうしてサトコまで。どうしてなんだ。
Sachikun was speaking through Keiichi's mouth. Oh, God. How could I respond? I didn't know what to say. I could only feel myself being stabbed by the sharpness of those
Keiichi.
words.
もういじめないでください。私だって何が何だかわからないんです。最無殿に忍び込んだあの晩から全てが変わってしまった。
Yeah.
あの晩、高野さんたちが死んだと聞き、耳を疑いました。そしてすぐに気づいたんです。今度は自分が狙われる立場になったんだって。
Yeah.
忍び込んだのは
What she did about that
私たち4
knowledge.
人。私とケイちゃんだけが都合よく許してもらえるわけがない。そう思った時、それがどれだけ心細くて恐ろしいことだったか。
Oh,
ケイち
God.
ゃんにはわかりますよね。
And this is so interesting because, like, if she's talking about this in the past tense. No, okay. This is actually so interesting to me. She says here, then I realized it instantly. I realized what sort of a position I'm in now. What I think about when she says this is when she was out in the hallway listening to Mion and Oryu speak, and she realized, oh, they're gonna kill me. I'm gonna do something about that, right? And she kills them, right? Well, she didn't kill Mion, but you know what I mean, right? She goes into action, right? She's talking about this like in the past tense. It feels like she's saying all this basically to like justify her actions, to justify why she did all of this, right? Because again, it's like she feels like this is Satoshi speaking to her through Keiichi's voice. She feels some need to like justify everything she did, right? So that's why she's talking about that feeling that she felt out in that hallway. But when we read this in chapter 2, it's like we just thought that, yeah, that's what Shion's feeling like right now, is that she thinks the curse is after her, right? But no, she's talking about it like in the past tense. She's justifying her actions. She's justifying what she's done throughout the chapter, right? God.
だから私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。君吉のおじいちゃん。そして、にっこり笑って、しおんちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら、鬼隠しになんかなるものかって。
And I wonder if now if she thinks that's really true, right? That if she had been like Sadako, if she had done nothing about it, if she had just waited, if it would have been fine, right?
笑いながら、任せなさい。
Because like the Satoshi justification or anger over him, it's like she doesn't want to use that either too for her reason for why she didn't do that, because she thinks that her anger over that is like her betraying him through thinking that he is gone and giving up on him, right? So yeah, she really is going to become thinking she's gonna go back to it and start thinking again that she should have just been like Sadako and just accepted it and done nothing, right? Which again, it's like, yeah, doing nothing would have been better than becoming a serial killer and killing everyone, but you know what I mean, right? Like, I remembered Uncle Kibiyoshi speaking ill of Sachi-kun. I killed him, but everyone in Hinamizawa did that. I wasn't the only one at fault.
いつ村長に打ち明けたんだよ。
Right, right, yeah. And this is, yeah, when, because this is after Oishi talked to Keiichi and told him all that stuff.
シオン、悲しい気持ちのところに追い打ちをかけるようで、シオンは打ち明けたんだよな。君吉のおじいちゃん、つまり村長に。
はい。
いつ打ち明けたんだよ。
Keiichi's tone is becoming sharper. The edge was cruel, but it was a sharp conviction. It wasn't a dull edge that caused excessive pain. It had a clean, pleasant sharpness to
村
it.
長さんは重い痔を患ってて、病院にかかっていたという話は知ってるか？
ケイちゃん、それが何か。
答えてくれ。知らないなら知らないと答えればいい。
痔だったのは知ってます。座る時とか辛そうでしたから。
病院に通ってたんだ。どこの病院かは知ってるよな。
ごめんなさい。それはちょっと知りませんけど。でもケイちゃん、それが一体何の？
単刀直入に聞きたいんだ。シオンはいつ村長に打ち明けたんだ？どこで？大雑把でいいから教えてほしいんだ。
God, because Keiichi hasn't given up on her either, right? And I wonder... Oh, I guess that's kind of it, right? The fact that Keiichi still hasn't even given up on her, right? Because she said all this stuff about how it's like she... It's not she's given up on her, she's given up on herself. And yet Keiichi doesn't, right? Very good, Keiichi Maibara. You know who I am, don't you? Oh, but he doesn't. He thinks it's Mion. He thinks it's Mion who did everything, right? How will she take that, right? How will she take that?
村長が失踪した日、朝から消えるまで、シオンには接触できる機会はありえないんだ。
Well, no, but he thinks he's talking to Shion, so what does she mean by this? Does she mean that he knows... Does she mean that he just knows that she's the demon, and that she's the one who's been doing it, right?
村長は朝一で誰にも内緒の大学病院へ一人で診察に出かけた。
I gotta make sure I have recording space. This is a really long recording. Okay, yeah, we're good.
シオンは今、この病院を知らないと言った。だから帰ってくるまで村長と接触することはできないはずだ。そうだろう。帰りの電車が事故で遅れたので、自宅に帰ってきたのは会合の始まる直前だった。つまり、会合が始まるまでの時間にも打ち明ける時間的余裕はないんだ。
And she thinks Keiichi worked any of this out. No, Oishi told him all of this. Keiichi could never do any of this. Come on.
そして会合の席上で打ち明けたのか。ここで打ち明けなきゃもう時間がないもんな。会合が終わった後、村長は帰宅途中で失踪するんだから。
実は会合にで。
あの日、シオンが行くと言ったバイトすら君は欠勤してるんだ。もっと端的に言おう。君は俺と一緒に行った図書館以降、誰にも目撃されていない。
ケイちゃん、
And I wonder, it's like, does she think Keiichi, like, knows the truth? And, like, what would that mean for her? What would that mean for her if someone actually didn't, like, know everything that she's been doing? Like, actually, you know? Would she want that? Like, how would she emotionally feel about that? It's like, Keiichi doesn't, so I wonder if that's why she has the reaction that she has, right?
その時シオンは綿流しの翌日に失踪したんだ。
Oh. How will she take that? The idea that Shion disappeared, you know? I didn't read that.
君がすでに失踪してい
Bingo,
ると言
Kei-chan,
ってい
I'm
るんだ。
impressed.
でもシオンはこうして毎晩俺に電話をかけてきてくれただろう。頼むシオン、俺が言ったことが間違ってるならそうだと言ってくれ。シオン、頼むから。
Corner me even further. Corner me so the demon inside me can't come up with excuses, so that it can't escape. Ah, but it can. But it can.
シオン、お前は村長に会ってなんかないんだ。もし会ったとしたなら。
The only time I could have possibly seen him on that day
村
was...
長が会合を終えた後、すなわち失踪する直前、もしくは
Right.
失踪してからしかありえないんだ。
It's crazy how they actually just, like, they had it all figured out, right? I mean, like, yeah, they knew everything. They just didn't know that it was Shion, not Mion, right? The whole time. Which is actually kind of crazy, right? Right. Remember that CG? Ah. Click. I screeched and screeched with laughter, then slammed down the fan. Very good, Kei-chan. That's right, it's me. I'm the one. Hurry and corner me. Hurry, let me be free. Ah ha 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 ha. Was he going to tell the police, or was he going to come here by himself? I wondered which it would be. If the police came, I'd struggle as much as I was able. I'd see how good Oishi would be at catching a demon. If Kei-chan came here alone, that wouldn't be smart of him. Well, it comes with Rena. He couldn't complain about being eaten by a demon then. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him so gruesomely while Shion watches. Therefore, Kei-chan, you shouldn't come back. You shouldn't... Wait, did I read that? You shouldn't hold back, sorry. I only ever thought you were just a funny guy. I never thought I could expect so much from you. Oh, man. Do we continue? Do we keep going? Here's the thing. If this is the last chapter, if this is the last sub-chapter, then I'm worried it's going to be, like, 5 hours long, right? Because, like, what do we have left? Like... They're here. What do we have left? We have Keiichi Rena showing up here. All the stuff with Shion telling them the history of Hinamizawa, I wonder if that's going to be, like, abridged. I doubt we're going to go through all that again, right? Keiichi bringing... I mean, Shion bringing Keiichi down to the torture dungeon, all that stuff. Right. What else? Oh, they have the, you know, they have a long talk down there, all that stuff happens. And then it's whatever Shion does afterwards, which, like, who knows how long all that could last, right? Like, I mean... Because Shion does all the stuff where she switches with Mion again, and then all that, you know, and all the stuff even after that, right? It's just like, who knows how much more stuff there is. So, I don't really want to stop here, but maybe we should. No, I think we should. Because I don't know how much, because I don't want to, like, because then if this is the last subchapter too, then, like, I would also want to do, like, the thing at the end, God, what's it called, the all-cast review stuff, I want to do that. So, I feel like this could be, like, another 2-3 hours or something, and I can't do that. There's no way. So, I guess that's it, unfortunately. I knew this was going to happen. I mean, we all knew this was going to happen last time, when I ended off in the middle of a chapter, unfortunately. Yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, well, next time we'll finish it. We'll finish chapter 5 next time. I hope there's a decent amount left. I hope it's, I mean, either way, I'm sure there's, like, a lot left. So I'm sure it'll be a full episode next time. Okay, I suppose that is it. So, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next one.